Maybe a gnarly scar.
She's been busted up, but it's not.
Oh no,
it's not going to be like
the
the cuts that are going to be all over her face after this.
Yeah.
Maybe a gnarly scar will make her hot. Like, just get like a one straight down the eye.
I saw a gnarly scar on her arm.
I saw bare knuckle boxing had a 3-second knockout the other night.
Yeah, I seen that. I think Yoel Romero was in the crowd too.
Was he?
I think so. There was like a video of him.
Yeah. How do you have a 3-second knockout?
Yeah, that's impressive.
Like you just like, all right, knock me out as fast as possible right before
it feels
the bell.
illegal. Like Yoel Romero.
Like how long was Jorge Masvidal's?
5 seconds.
5 seconds.
It feels very illegal and underground with Yoel Romero being there. This like,
right.
Like he has money on somebody.
Cuban,
Like he
dude,
just has like he's running a racket somewhere in the stands.
It's suddenly like cockfighting.
yeah, dude, like
Throwing chips. Like
that's what's going on down there.
reminds me of that Street Fighter movie from the 90s where they had like the cage fights or whatever. Do you remember that? Do you see the Street Fighter movie?
Yeah, I love
anybody?
that movie. Everything reminds me of that movie.
Seriously?
Better not.
You guys remember that movie?
I do remember the movie.
They actually
I don't
like
think so.
it's fucked up, but like
You know,
they kind of
Tyler-
did like I thought they did the right thing. Like, oh, why are all these fighters together? Well, the UN needs them for. I mean, like it made sense. Like, how are we gonna pull all these fighters from different nationalities together?
Yeah.
I thought the story like kind of like they did well, but they just like missed a bunch of opportunities with it, and like
Yeah, I
it
feel like-
ultimately ended up bad acting and shit.
No,
well,
bad
yeah,
acting
and it was
Yeah.
like
That's
it actually had to do with like military industrial complex. Like
I
it
felt
could have just been a fight tournament.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I like
Nope.
never.
I felt like
back
they
down.
had something with the
The movie's
story,
pretty
and then
good.
it
The
just
first
like
one.
fell apart because of everything else. But like, I feel like that core story was kind of like what you should write for
I
that.
feel like
movie.
the first Mortal Kombat movie is pretty decent
Yeah.
for its time. Back in the day when it came out, I was hyped.
Annihilation.
I was like, yeah, it was just like cram every character
Yeah.
possible.
But honestly, even look back on the original Mortal Kombat now,
Yeah.
you're like, ugh,
Yeah.
ooh, man, I can't believe I liked this so
Kind of
much.
charming. It's charming in like a 90s way.
Dude, you know
Charming.
what? You know
I like
what
the words
super
you
fucking
use.
holds
Cute,
Oh, thank you.
charming.
Yeah.
What super holds up is the original Ninja Turtles movie. Like,
Yeah.
it's
It's dark, dude. It's
Dude,
dark.
It's dark as shit. It's
Yeah.
like I can't believe like they went for this back then. Like, I can't believe they
I have
fucking
nightmares of like Raphael in that bathtub screaming. Like,
Did it. Yeah, dude.
do you remember that? Like, what is this? Like,
It's so good.
And honestly, Splinter was a little horrifying.
yeah.
But
The second one was fun too. I like the second one.
I remember
more.
watching it a few years ago, being like, "This is probably gonna be awful,"
Be
and I was like,
trash.
"Man, this totally fucking holds up." And it's like really dark and mature. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe they made a mature Turtles movie, like when it was a big Saturday morning cartoon at the time.
Yeah.
You know what? I can't believe they made a movie. Did you ever watch The Cat in the Hat?
Yeah, that movie's
Oh
terrifying.
my god!
It's awful. There's never been a good.
It's like, oh, Dr. Seuss books are
Well, the
actually
Grinch one-
nightmares.
They
Oh,
don't.
yeah.
They don't make movies anymore because of that movie.
Dude,
The
in the-
Grinch one was cool.
He hated kids. Roald Dahl, I
I
think.
know.
No, that's a different guy. Dr. Seuss, whoever that
Yeah, Dr.
guy is,
Seuss, like-
he hated kids.
Mhm.
Really?
He despised them. Like he like
Just knew you could make money, huh?
yeah.
Dude, that movie, I love that movie. I don't even care. But I can't believe my parents let me watch it.
The Cat in the Hat.
It's funny how it's funny the age difference of like the frame of reference for movies is like. Parents let me
Yeah,
watch a
I
Cat in
was-
the Hat movie that
I
came out in
was
2002.
16.
And like me, I was like in high school already. And like,
Yeah.
like Kyle was probably like getting high
I
every
was-
day while the
yeah.
movie came out. No offense. No
fuck?
offense. I'm not flaming you. It's just different. She was
Let
like a
me think.
baby. She was a baby. Dave was like in the military.
Let me
whatever.
think. Was I?
I might have been in the military.
Yeah, like to me, it's just like different. Like the age group
I
is
was
funny.
still
Yeah.
at St. Agnes, so I was in 5th grade or younger when that movie came out.
See, like it's just like funny because like you're grown up and like we were all like in high school and just like
Yeah.
she wasn't allowed to watch a movie.
I get it. I'm old as fuck.
No, my parents. The only movie my dad did not let me watch was Salem's Lot, and when I got
Why?
older, I thanked him for not
Why
letting me watch
specifically
that
that
movie.
movie? Though?
Because
Why?
it was on one night, and I got sucked in the first part of it. My dad was like, "All right, you need to go to bed now because you're not gonna want to watch the second
I
part."
watched whatever I wanted. When I was
My dad, the only movie he ever did that with was the old Stephen King's It, and I just went into another room and turned it on,
Yeah.
and I should have listened to my dad.
That's
scary
why I'm
back in
glad
the
I
day.
listened to my dad.
Yeah.
I should always listen
Still
to my
to this
dad.
day, like I can't get too close to clowns.
I don't-
Really?
Oh yeah, we
mm-mm.
fight on site.
I don't do clowns
I was
either.
watching The Exorcist and Full Metal Jacket when I was like 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I definitely watched Full Metal Jacket.
But think
Yeah.
about like the type
Yeah,
of man.
I watched all those like Commando.
I loved the Gomer Pyle shit when I was a kid, like 5. I don't know. I was obsessed with that, like whole like.
Yeah.
He's
I was watching
crazy.
Spirited
Like,
Away.
I don't know. I just
What?
I was
for
watching
something
Spirited
reason I
Away.
liked it.
I love that movie. But
Good
like, think
movie.
about the type of guy you are to become a clown. Like intrinsically, who are you as a human? Like
Yeah, that's
that's your like what the fuck?
well, probably
like,
the
you're
most
just,
famous
like-
clown who actually went to clown school, Steve-O.
Yeah.
because he went to clown school.
But like, who goes to clown school? Like
People like Steve-O.
But like, is he a shit? Like, yeah,
Yeah, but also like people
He
who
didn't
hate
do
themselves
that.
too. Like probably, like there's probably a range of people that do it. It's like, how did we end up here?
No, right.
I can't see it being like an industry that's like on a. It's
a
never
real
been on a
right-wing
crest.
thing.
Yeah, like you can't fucking like it's not a booming industry ever. It's just like a pocket of people
Well,
every
back
year.
in
that
the-
do it.
Especially now, like who's hiring clowns for kids'
Right.
birthday parties
Yeah.
anymore? Like, nah, keep that freaky ass dude away from me.
Exactly.
Maybe. I mean,
And circuses
people
are outlawed too. You can't even like there's the elephants. You can't do elephants really anymore because like PETA and shit.
People
you know?
probably do it ironically now and then just make fun of the fucking clown the whole time.
It's like a hipster.
Yeah,
it's
like,
like a hipster version
hipsters
of
do
it.
it for their kids, and they're like, "Oh, we hired a fucking clown, dude."
There was a point in
just-
time where every once in a while, Kroger's in Steubenville would have like clowns walking around getting donations for like some
What?
kids thing.
Oh my
scary.
God.
I would just walk right back out. I'd be like, "Oh shit!"
I went to the haunted house once, and I knew the guy. I know the guy that owns it. So when he found out I was there and found out I was not happy to be there, he made everything, like everyone messed with me. And we got to the clown room. I almost punched a couple of them fucking clowns. I was not about it. Ran out crying. No, thank you.
There's fucking.
I never had a problem. With
I
it.
don't do clowns.
These haunted houses are just like it's just you walk in, it's just like some girl laying in bed, just like you shouldn't have came here. Like what the fuck? Like come on.
tell you the story?
Yeah, like
I don't do haunted houses.
like you said this all night. You don't even sound convinced that what you're saying is true.
They flubbed the line.
Yeah, just like it's like all right. It's something. Go to the next one.
I don't
Well,
know. It worked when I was 10.
Well, you realize it's just
Well, I
like
was. I was like
17-year-olds.
12.
You know, it's like Walls Township is like 17 and 18-year-old kids.
Yeah, laughing at you and
I don't know.
being dicks.
All right, we probably should start before we.
All right, let's get into some MMA.
It happens every time.
Lost.
All right, so first we're going to be recapping UFC Fight Night Felder versus Dos Anjos.
Pretty decent card.
It actually was. It was
Yeah.
entertaining.
And like I was talking to Kyle in the car on the way up about it, but like it starts to feel less special when you have UFCs every week. And in theory, it's great to have that much fights, but just like it becomes to get like okay, this one's next and this one's next, so things stand out less a little
and
bit.
I think we also are suffering from like COVID times, and there's a little less fighters available, and
Yeah,
but we're finding interesting people out of it though.
Mhm.
yeah. But a lot of it's just like contender series guys making debuts like 3 weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Yeah.
you just saw them fight, and it's just like then they're also fighting another contender series guys who are like this is just a contender series fight on this UFC card. So
I'll
what's
tell
the
you
level
what,
here?
To me, it's kind of shown like maybe the best path to become known in the UFC is actually to just fight as often as you can.
Right.
And try to climb your way up the ladder at the beginning. I feel like that's what happens in boxing, and it's starting to transfer over. Like, start fighting only like once or twice a year once you've reached. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
And even RDA talked about it in post-fight press conference that like a lot of the top 5 guys in a lightweight are really strategically picking their fights, and that like back in the day you just fought whoever was up next, you fought him.
Yeah.
And that's what it was, and you don't really pick based off of like who the person was. You just had to fight the next best guy.
Well, and it's terrible for the fan base
Yeah.
when division is held up forever because nobody wants to fight anybody.
Yeah, I remember being super like annoyed with Overeem and Strikeforce back in the day.
Because he
it
wouldn't
was,
fight
like,
often.
2 years or something he didn't fight.
Right.
Yeah.
But they didn't have that many contenders. But like
No.
now it's like you hope that everything under one mantle of the UFC will clear up that sort of boxing paradigm of like fighters picking or choosing fights. Like these guys are the same boss,
Yeah.
and you can't make someone fight, but also, well, why they might as well all have like a boxing promotions, for each other then.
Well,
I don't want that.
You say
No.
they didn't have a lot of contenders in Strikeforce, but then you look back at that time frame and
No, there was a lot.
there was a lot of
Yeah,
heavyweights.
well, it
in there.
came in
no.
later. Like during that drive spell that Overeem was in Japan
But
fighting.
I was real up on Fedor's shit at the time, and I remember being like,
He
I
wanted
want
to fight
Fedor
him.
to fight for the title, and like
Right.
Fedor ended up having to fight Verdum or whatever. Wasn't that
Yeah.
why he did that?
and that's when everything went south.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
old Fedor.
Shouldn't have jumped in the guard. Should have made him stand up.
Yeah. A little too aggressive, buddy.
I sent him a message on Instagram about it, and I
It
think
was
you read
obvious. It was obvious too, dude. Like he barely touched
Are you
him.
being
and
serious?
Verdum
No.
hits his back. Like
I hate
Fedor
you.
Fedor reading my Instagram messages like, oh, I shouldn't have jumped in this card. You're right, the biggest
Thank you,
loss in my
Brandon.
career. Yeah,
but I
didn't realize that blunder I made.
I feel like Fedor should have known that he was trying to lure him in there. Like
Yeah.
he just kind of like it flopped. Like
he didn't give a fuck though. That's what it was though.
No, he jumped right on.
He
him.
would fight any dude like anywhere, and like I'm not saying it
And
just to
Fedor won a lot of
romanticize it.
fights like that, winging at people while they're on the ground. Like,
Right.
you know,
Well, he sat in Big Nog's guard for the whole fight and pounded him out. So you
that's
think,
the guy you don't want to.
yeah, and like you just gotta think about like, well, maybe Big Nog wasn't as good as Verdum was at that position too. You know, grappling wise.
I think it was
I
the
would
start
probably
of
agree with that.
Fedor's like decline though too.
Yeah, I actually think Fedor's worst loss was to Dan Henderson.
That yeah. I mean, he actually had Henderson caught too right before he got
Right.
knocked out. It was actually a pretty good fight for the first minute. Like it was just like fucking barn burner.
Yeah, but he was just so much smaller than Fedor.
Yeah. He hits hard though. Like I'm not
Real
making
hard.
Yeah,
excuses.
Henderson, he's an animal.
But Fedor also is very small. Like he's a
Yeah,
small
for a
heavyweight.
Yeah, like 232 or something like
He
that.
would have cut down to 205 if he actually like wanted to. He could have cut down to 205 pretty easily in his
Oh,
career.
yeah, super easy.
Yeah.
So
So
he carried a bunch of weight.
So he was like bigger than Henderson, but the way they fought too, like you gotta think striking wise, you know, it's like that weight doesn't translate as well. If someone hits like a truck, they hit like a truck at 206 or 230. So like Rumble Johnson fought at 205. If he went to heavyweight, he probably could knock out somebody at heavyweight
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
easily.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like you and that Henderson, I don't know if he hits that hard, but
Yeah, but he's a comparable kind of. I mean, dude, he's fucking. Look what he did to Bisbing. Like,
Right.
That
Yeah.
hit would knock anybody out.
But yeah, what it was is like sort of a tactical thing with Fedor. His tactical abilities sort of declined more so than his like physically too, but like he's just mentally he didn't have a game plan as often. Like when he fought Krokop in Pride, he game planned that perfectly and like fought him on the feet and did everything perfectly. But now it's like he went in trying to wing big
Yeah, he's
bombs.
winging it,
Yeah, and just like dying on your shield. If you got beat, you got beat. So
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into these fights.
The Hobbit
we're-
and Gandalf.
We're starting with Kay Hansen and versus Corey McKenna. Corey McKenna did win a decision, and it was an entertaining fight. I enjoyed it. Definitely, McKenna does need to do some work on her striking. She was getting caught a lot on her way in, but she pretty much doubled her output in the strikes. So
she returned a few of those big punches too. So
Yeah.
she is catching Hansen pretty not terribly clean, but big punches there.
I missed what happened to her leg because she like couldn't walk at the end.
She said it was her ankle, but
Oh, that's
she
right.
said it'd be fine. So
Her accent was weird, but I don't know where she's from.
Welsh.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh.
she was making.
Just like
She was making
negative
real light
reaction.
of the ankle thing though. She was like, "Yeah, it's fine. It'll be alright."
Yeah,
She's,
but she needed help walking around, so we'll see.
Is she team alpha male?
She is.
Because
So
I
is
saw
Faber.
Faber in her corner. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She is.
But it was an entertaining fight. I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say about it, I don't think. They are both very young. They're both 21 years
Yes.
old.
Yeah.
So,
So they have a lot of room for improvement.
yeah, there's definitely some
they
growth
could end up
opportunity
out
there.
of the UFC and back in at some point.
Right.
We have no idea how this will go.
Yeah.
I always wonder how long how long have they been training since they're 21? You know what I mean?
Corey McKenna, they said that she
like
has
13?
been trained. She was like 12, 13,
Yeah, and I mean
14,
those are the
something
girls.
Like that.
Those are the girls that are eventually gonna be the
Well,
classes.
it's like
of these
Tatiana.
divisions.
I mean, she wrestled all when she was younger, and then trialed for the Olympics and all that, and now she's
Maybe
best-
going to fight again one day.
her neck is just all messed up. I wish she'd fight though.
Suarez is this who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, is she still like on the mend? She's still recovering from her neck injury.
Yeah.
You gotta wonder how that's gonna affect her career, like just
Mhm.
in general, like
Yeah.
how good can she be? Because
How well
like
can
she's
you
probably
train
30
her?
now, maybe. Is she 30 yet?
I don't know how old she is, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but like you just like your body doesn't get better if your neck's that fucked up, and like your body can't really recover in your 30s if you're that injured.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Henderson
worse.
had a lot of neck issues, didn't he?
Yeah, and then
Yeah, I feel like his whole back was
Yeah.
jacked.
He
he
I mean,
always
he
looks
was
so stiff.
he was the stiffest fighter I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
Like when he would walk into the cage at the beginning, I'd always be like, he's gonna get killed, man. He can't even move.
Right.
But then he just winged that fucking overhand bomb.
Yeah,
on
like
you, dude.
God.
I'm not positive his neck moves like this.
Yeah.
Right.
no.
Like it's so insane. Watching him throw leg kicks, it's like, how are you so good at MMA?
Yeah.
Like, you can't even throw a leg kick.
He like steps in with his whole like body like awkwardly and stiffly.
Him
Yeah.
and Bisbing, dude, just two beat up, feebled warriors who just like just,
Right.
not, I mean, just tough as shit.
And I loved Dan Henderson, but every time I was like, man, you need to do some yoga or something, bro.
Yeah. Right.
Send him a message on Instagram.
Limber up, buddy.
Why is that your favorite thing?
It's just funny to like to give advice to fighters.
Yeah. And from here,
I saw somebody like Eric Anders posted it because he pulled out his fight. I think probably to his weight cut issue he had. He posted an Instagram story of this guy in his DMs like, "You fucking suck. You're only 13 and 6. You pussy." And it's just like,
Like, what?
dude. like Eric Anders is like some pro fighter. Like it's weird to do that. To
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I understand being like talking to some other fans and being like, this dude sucks, but like to go to his messages and be like, I fucking hate you for sucking.
Yeah,
It's
it's
your
like,
fault.
Like I don't like Eric Anders, but he's trying his best out there, man. He doesn't want that record. He wants the better record.
Yeah. And literally, as somebody who doesn't fight at all, you really
offends
don't
me.
have actual
Right.
advice for this guy
Yeah.
or really any say. Like, you can't be like, oh, you're fucking terrible.
The
Like, well, so are you,
Yeah.
couch potato.
The notion that this guy gives a fuck, like, is
Right.
just funny. Like,
He's just sitting in his house crying.
yeah.
I think
But some people do take it seriously, though. This is weird. I'm like, as a person in that position, why would you ever like
Yeah.
like take that shit to heart? But some people do like let that shit get to them.
But I mean, like it's just. I mean, obviously fighters are tough, but like they're people. So it's just like
Yeah.
he probably was down the dumps about pulling out his fight. It's just like I'm not saying like this dude's like
Right.
he's gonna hang himself because this dude's in his
Yeah.
inbox, but like you know, it's just like
leave him
alone.
people shitting on you too. It's like
Yeah.
people shitting on you, no- regardless of if you're a fighter or not. It still sucks.
And I
Yeah.
feel like all out of every sport, athlete wise, I feel like fighters are probably the most down to earth.
Well, and it's like you're putting the fuck out there. You know what I mean? They deserve the least shit because it's like they put everything on the line, dude.
Yeah.
And like it's not easy to lose in front of that many people
No.
when it's you. You know what I mean? It's not you and your team lost.
Yeah,
And it might be Dickhead's fault. It wasn't my fault. Like it's all your fault. You lost. Like,
Yeah.
right.
And
Yeah.
it's like that's the hardest thing to take and to like shit on those people.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not
Unless
a
your
team
name's
sport.
Chris Weidman, then you deserve all the shit.
I
Then
mean,
you're
we shit
bummed.
on a lot of people too, but I'm not messaging Chris Weidman.
That we
Like,
know of.
I hate you.
That we know of. We need to see you. and
But if
Chris
he messages
Weidman's
me back, I'll show you.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I'm gonna need to see your phone.
If I get his attention.
That's like whenever I message Sam Alvey, my friend messaged him because we were talking on Xbox PS4. He's like, "Yeah, me and Sam Alvey talk all the time." And then he messaged him and was like, "Hey, tell my friend that we talk all the time." And Sam Alvey said, "Yeah, we're good friends." And then I messaged him and was like, "Hey, tell him that we talk more." And he like, I sent you guys a screenshot in the message, and like it's just like. But
This guy.
then he starts posting Bible stuff in his Instagram story. So I'm like, we're not talking anymore. I'm not talking anymore.
Friendship over.
Yeah. Sorry, Sam. I didn't tell him yet. So if he sees this, then
It's funny.
We're
that
not friends.
That guy got caught up in that drama. Though.
yeah. He's like training for a fight that week. It's like fight week for him, and like he has like a
I have to
fucking
tell
dumb.
my PlayStation friend, my PlayStation friend's friend, that I'm his friend
It's
to
just
prove
like,
it, to make his life fucking.
you know what's sad? I wasn't even rooting for him in this fight.
So you were never friends with him.
I was in fair weather friend to Sam Alvey.
If he would have won, I might have been his friend.
Yeah.
He's still my boy.
He has like that model wife. He doesn't need my friendship.
Yeah, his life's going all right.
Yeah, he's a
All right, so moving along. Next fight was Brendan Allen versus Sean Strickland. I believe they're both actually middleweights, right? But it was a
Yeah.
catchweight fight.
195.
I
Yep.
wasn't aware that it was catchweight.
But yeah, 'cause I think it's short notice.
Yeah.
He looks like
They
old
kept saying
Bisping.
they kept
He
saying
looks like
middleweight.
Bisping from Ultimate Fighter. Look.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you.
Potato.
I'll tell you what. I was impressed with him.
So was I. And then they were like, Kyle was like, he wasn't.
I'm not.
he was-
I'm like he
friend-
did well in his fight, but to me, I like because the announcer said something like maybe an interesting prospect in the middleweight division, and I'm like, nah, I don't.
He
you know
looked
what I mean? Like,
29.
I'm not thinking this guy's gonna go up to top 10 and do any damage. It's just he had no kicks. It was all fists from both guys. Well, the one dude was like kicking him a little bit. But,
Yeah. Well,
Like
and there were a few front kicks in there, but his punches were powerful even without winding him up.
Yeah.
I mean, they
it was
were
like
just
Diaz brother.
Yeah.
The way he like
Little
boxed.
And the only thing I did see that I didn't like from Sean Strickland is while his striking offense looked great, his striking defense did not look
he was
great.
getting jabbed a lot. Like
Yeah.
he'd snapping his head all the way back
Right.
and shit when he was getting
Yeah, his head was
jabbed.
too stationary.
Yeah, definitely too stationary. And his hands just stayed like right below
That was
his head.
that's my main thing is there's not a lot of like movement up top, and he was all hands for the most part. I'm like, you're gonna need more head movement when you get to the top 10 there, buddy. But
Yeah, but it was a fun fight. I mean, it was
Sure.
just all action,
He sort of overwhelmed Brendan Allen.
which was crazy because Brendan Allen was the one that kept moving forward.
And then Brendan Allen, I've seen him fight before. He fought Kyle Dawkins a few months ago, and that was a really good fight. So I was pretty high on Brendan Allen as like somebody in the division. Not like, oh, he's going to be a contender, but watching him fight before, I was like, he's pretty good. And it was like a competitive fight with Kyle Dawkins. So that says him knocking out Brendan Allen says a little bit to me
Pretty
that
good. Yeah.
yeah, I think he was like top 15. Brendan
Yeah.
Allen
I
was.
mean, I felt like Allen was in the fight too for the whole time. Like he was,
Yeah.
you know.
he just got overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Eventually.
He was getting busted up pretty much the whole time. I mean,
Yeah.
he was looking the worst for wear.
I thought Allen was gonna win I thought Allen was gonna win the fight at first. Like when in the beginning round, you know, what I mean, I thought it was gonna go Allen's way, but
Could you go to Strickland? Because I think that could you go to his record? Because I think he only lost two. He lost 3 times. I think two was to Usman and Ponzinibbio, which are decent losses. Like
he
those are all-
should have threw more leg kicks, to be honest. 'cause
he was
they
at
were
welterweight
working
for a
well.
while.
Well, and I think he had a pretty long layoff before these two fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years.
Nordine Taleb, and then he loaded more of his fights. Cause I think he has 3 losses. I think that.
But yeah, he's won 2 in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, unless he Dos Santos, he got knocked out by him, Usman, and then
he beat Court McGee.
right, and then he lost to Usman. And he lost to Ponzinibbio, got knocked out by him.
Yeah.
So those aren't
he's
the worst
interesting
losses.
in the inside the top 20. You know what I mean?
What's Ponzinibbio doing?
He's fighting, I
He's
think,
got
in
a
January.
Fight, right? I
Yeah.
thought so. I
He
thought
was
I'd
out
seen
for a
that.
while.
Yeah.
He's a good prospect. I mean, he's kind of
Mhm.
older now, but he was like coming up. He beat the
I
shit out of
enjoyed
Neil
watching
Magny.
him fight. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, those leg kicks are brutal.
But to be out for 2 years, come back and have 2 wins, inside a month, that's a couple of weeks. That's impressive.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather see people fight often like that, and like I think that
Yeah.
Kyle said too. Like you and Dave said, you seem to fight more. If you're
You get noticed.
yeah, because it's like this dude has 2 wins already in this year. There's fighters that don't have any fights this year.
Yeah.
Like
Like big name fighters.
yeah, it's just like
Right.
you have no fights all year. You couldn't put a training camp together at some point in this year. I know it's shitty for COVID, to put together a training camp, but things have opened up enough to where you could train.
mean,
For now.
Yeah.
Especially top
Yeah,
level
until
fighters,
fucking-
though. It's like you can't fucking put together a gym in your basement, dude. Like,
Right.
Yeah. Like Glover.
yeah.
Cute Glover trains out of his garage.
Yeah, he trains
Cute Glover.
That's why he's
fucking. I'm
That's
not
what
even
started
Quaint.
it.
talking
I think he was going. It's quaint. I think he was
It's
going.
quaint.
It is.
Not cute.
Well, it's like a Rocky. It's like a fucking Rocky movie.
Well,
It's training
Devin
with-
started in his garage.
Did
They
Devin
all
just
start
beat
somewhere.
Thiago Santos though?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
So
Yeah,
not
that's
as
true,
cute.
He can be as cute eventually.
Dude, you just gotta go straight Rocky Ford, like lifting logs.
Go to
and
the
running
top.
up the mountains, dude.
I love that
my.
training montage in Rocky 4.
Yeah. He's getting down back to his roots.
Running in the snow.
Yeah, dude.
I just think that eventually though, it's like Glover's been fighting forever though, so he just knows how to fight. He's a
Yeah.
fucking multi-time world champion in grappling, and he's been boxing for 20 years probably now. So like me and Kyle mentioned too, like Paul Felder's been striking since he was probably 12, teenager at the
Yeah.
latest. And like you don't need a training camp if you know how to fight. You do to sharpen up your body, but mentally you know how
how
to
long
fight.
before you get to an age? And
The good thing for
time
him is
where-
that he was training for a triathlon, so he was already in shape.
Yeah,
Yeah, but still cutting 30 pounds in 1 week or
Well,
whatever.
that's where I think maybe there might have been a disadvantage, but if there was one,
Yeah, but I don't even think we said Sean Strickland did win
Oh,
by
yeah.
a TKO in the second round. It was pretty vicious.
Ooh, he when Brendan Allen came back up at the end, he almost folded back again.
yeah. And he turned on the power with his last few shots were like hard as
it was a
hell.
great stop,
Mhm.
great stoppage.
Yeah,
Like,
it was, and he really did turn on the power. Like he was fucking him up just with the regular, but he really went for it after that. And then he got all crazy, and growling and yelling and spit flying. And
Yeah, it was-
I like to see when people are fired up, man.
yeah.
It was a hook, wasn't it?
They caught him with.
Yeah, it was almost like a slap. He hit him with
but then
a
he hit
1-2
him
and
again,
then,
like because he was falling against the cage, and he cracked him on the way
cracked him
down,
again.
and then Herb stepped in. But I thought it was a great stoppage. It was like right at the right moment where like,
Mhm.
dude, there's no need for one more because he's going straight down.
Oh yeah. It took him a while.
I felt like Allen should have kept leg kicking him though. Like I felt like those were working pretty well, and he just didn't employ enough of them.
Or mix up some level changes too. It's
Yeah.
like whenever you're drawn into like a Diaz type of boxing exchange like that and you're getting the worst end of it. It's like, dude, you have to add
Figure
some layers
something
to it. Yeah, you
I
can't
think
just sit
Allen
there.
can bounce back though. I think he's still an interesting prospect.
Yeah, I don't feel like he's like career's over. Just like he's fairly young. I think he's like 26 or something like that.
Yeah.
So you gotta think he has a few more years to develop different looks in his game.
Yeah. All right, moving along, we're gonna go to Ashley Yoder versus Miranda Granger.
Spider Monkey.
Spider Monkey.
Telling you, this is a high school fight. From 7 a.m. when you walk in, these girls are fighting by a locker.
Oh my God.
Well, we should say Ashley Yoder won by a
Big Eddie's
decision.
on.
She won by a decision, and Brandon didn't like the fight very much. I enjoyed it actually.
Yeah, I liked it.
I liked
I'm
it.
a woman, so
I laughed a lot of it. Like I was watching my girlfriend, and like she was like, "What are they doing?" Like she was watching too, and it was just like.
I actually at the end of the first round when she went for first the triangle, then for the arm bar, and then she got her face locked up by her legs, and they were in that weird position. I laughed and rewatched it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
but
only in women's MMA does that happen.
but in some ways, it was a good defense.
Yeah, they should end of the round. They should not let them out of it. These girls need to work out of this position. There's no way a belt saves you out of this. Whoever comes out of this the best way possible wins the fight.
Yeah.
I've been flipping you off.
I was
A solid 30
passionate.
seconds. I know.
I will tell you when they were all intertangled in each other. Sometimes it was hard to tell like whose legs were whose. I was like, what is happening here? But it was. I thought it was a decent grappling display. I mean, we talk about. I can't think of how many times we've talked about UFC men not being able to do anything with their legs when they're on the ground. These girls were using all their legs.
Yeah. I mean,
Spider monkey.
Thiago Santos with his legs on the ground getting grappled by Glover, and then these girls. I mean, like they showed skill in a lot of the spots.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of it too is just like awkward spots, and like
Yeah.
they're funny and like they're maybe less skilled.
I don't know that
but I
that
don't care,
translates
you know.
to like the above level women though. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like they'd probably.
Oh,
get,
yeah.
I would never
they
see
don't-
Valentina's head trapped somewhere.
yeah,
like that.
like,
No, yeah, they don't stand a chance
That's what I'm
against
saying.
anyone in the top 4 at strawweight. No way.
Yeah,
No way.
And like I mentioned to Nicolette before the podcast, like it's just weird to be training that long. Like I know that Yoda was on the Ultimate Fighter years ago, and it's like, I mean, haven't you done jiu-jitsu enough to not like to know how to get into a dominant position and hold it, or not
Right.
be put in these weird positions?
Which she did at the end.
Yeah, she actually the third round was very impressive on her end, and
Yeah.
like she went for the kill, and there's a lot of like finishing, ability there with her getting in that choke. But
And this really easily could have been a rear naked submission for Ashley Yoder because it was over.
Yeah, 2 more seconds.
She lucked out.
yeah, I couldn't tell what Granger was supposed to be good at because I know that Yoder was a grappler. I've seen her grapple before.
Yeah.
I never seen her fight before, but like her striking that great that I was like, oh, she's a striker.
Right.
But like
Yeah.
it just seemed like I didn't know what she was supposed to
as
be.
long legged as she is though, it's like start kicking people. Like
Yeah. There was definitely it definitely wasn't top level, but I did enjoy it. At one point, I did say to myself, I was like, I can't tell if these girls are really good at grappling or if they're really bad at it.
or they're good. I think more the truth is like somewhere in the middle. They're good in certain spots,
yeah.
and but certain spots too, they don't know how to maintain and sort of dominate.
But that's what creates all these interesting rolls and scrambles sometimes
Yeah.
because nobody can hold anywhere. Like
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching the fight. I cannot deny that whatsoever.
Fight of the year for
I hate
Fight
you,
of the
Brandon.
it's like I mean, like I feel like it was entertaining in not the way that MMA should be entertaining, but I'm just saying, like I'm being honest here. I'm not like
Oh, I know. Trust me.
I'm not trying to shit on it
I know.
because I did give it props. The third round was pretty impressive. The first 2 rounds
Yeah.
were they're actually pretty close. I remember them being pretty close grappling wise. But then I feel like Yoder edged it later on.
She came out in the third round like I'm coming out here to win this fight.
And her takedown was good in the third round too.
Yeah.
That step and takedown she did was pretty nice with the body lock. But like the head and arm throw is just like
And
yeah.
her
I just can't get over the fact that Devin said that, and then you sent that, and I was like, wow, okay.
well, and I saw, and then she went for it later too in the second round. I saw her try to put her arm over her head, and like she's like going for the, I'm like, God damn it, like, like it just like I was like, look, she's putting her head over, and I was hoping she'd get it because it's like, it's the funniest thing in the women's MMA is when they get those throws because it's like, that there's no double leg anywhere in the fight, just head arm throw, that's it.
yeah.
yeah,
I will say
happens quite a lot.
also Ashley Yoder, the way she set up that rear naked choke was great too because she would go for it for a second, then just start punching,
Yeah.
and then try to slide it back in, and it
Mhm.
eventually worked its way right underneath. It was tight, man. I was like, she's gonna tap. She had her hand up like she was going to, like, okay, all right.
And yeah, I didn't know she knew what the time was at all. I don't because I can't
It
tell.
didn't look like she looked up or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like such margins of like tapping. 1 second later, she could probably tapped and won the fight officially and with a rear naked choke, but just ran out of time. So yeah, in my mind, she won by submission. Maybe it's unofficial.
Yeah, well, I mean, you
Yeah.
know, and too, if you want to look at it that way, Cody would have finished TJ Dillashaw if there was
Right.
3 seconds
So
left
they need
in
to
that
amend.
round. So.
They need to amend both fights. Actually,
Glover would have beat Santos too at the
Yeah.
in
Oh,
the
yeah.
second round.
Yeah.
Into the second.
and there's probably 20 fights you could probably do that too, or like
Right.
Also,
For sure.
Yair would have lost by decision to Korean Zombie if he didn't get elbowed in the last second.
Literally the last second.
I think that was just the luckiest elbow
Yeah.
ever.
It's like, what are you even?
I think some
How-
kid
you
tried
did
to
not
go
even
for it and
think
then
of
got
that.
knocked out when he tried to go for it or something. I don't know. I
Leading
thought I
the
saw
It
face.
a
looked more like
video.
he was just like, get off me.
yeah.
Like, oh shit, I knocked him out.
He tried it in the fight. Like he tried it earlier in the fight too. So I feel like Yair's pretty skilled. He probably
Yeah.
threw it, and like it just. If you're waiting on probably on the scorecards, why would you go and be that aggressive? Like it's admirable, but also, dude, you got knocked out because you
How do
ran
you
at this guy.
generate enough power to knock Korean Zombie out with that though?
He was running
Yeah.
full speed at him. That's why.
Right.
He did
He hit
nothing.
him with an elbow like that.
Yeah.
It was so
Like,
weird.
oh my god.
But also, speaking of somebody that, like Yair and Zabit have not fought or signed a fight all year.
No.
And it's like, dude, what the fuck's going on with that fight?
I
Yeah.
went back and watched the Caterers beat fight.
Be mad about it, right? be mad that you missed 2 rounds at the end that they didn't give him. Yeah, it's just like Zabit needs to fight somebody, and so does Zaire. It's just, they can't wait around forever to fight. But
They just need to fight each other.
yeah, but it's like whenever you don't hear for months and months that this fight's even signed, like
Yeah.
there's no date. It's just like
Yeah.
give us a date, give
Could
us
be 6
January,
more months.
whatever.
Yeah.
Put him on the Connor card with Dustin or whatever. But still, or no, actually, they need a 5-round fight. They need to fight in a fight night.
Yeah, I think it should be a main event fight night. Yeah.
Right. But anyways,
All right, moving along, we're going to move on to Abdul Razak Alassane versus Chaos Williams. Chaos Williams wins by devastating
God.
knockout in the first round. Straight up KO. And to me, maybe he's the person I'm most excited to see after this, honestly. 'Cause
yeah.
first of all, the stare down as Alassane was coming to the ring.
He was.
I was like, Jesus
mean.
Yeah.
Mean.
He was like focused.
Yeah,
Calm.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's going to kill him.
And he did.
And he did. Like, for real, for a minute, I was like, is he dead?
The way he fell and hit his head off the
Yeah, I
on
think
the,
that might have did the.
most. I mean,
most
not
of it.
most of the damage, obviously the punch, but I mean, it fucked him up too. Like he was out for a good while.
Yeah. And he was stiff before he hit the ground. I mean, stiff.
His leg was just like floating
Yeah.
in the
He
air.
snuck it right through his block, man. Like
Man.
he had his arms up and it just went straight through both of them.
And it was loud.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
I
it did. You
know.
could hear it.
And then literally, like, he wasn't standing with them for the fight announcement. And then eventually, like, after Chaos Williams got done with his, like, post-fight talk, they were like, and Alassane finally has gotten
Yeah.
up. And I'm
I
like, what? He
know.
just started moving?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
he was like
weird
talking
when
to
people
Dana.
don't pop up for like. I mean, you think 10 seconds they're gonna wake up at least easy. you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
That's scary, actually.
Yeah,
It's fucking
Yeah,
super
it
scary.
is.
I was like, I seen that video of Benavidez coming out of the submission, and he was like screaming, and, like he was like came out of the submission because he got choked
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
He was like screaming, and it's like that's scary. Like that. Where was he at? In his
Right.
mind,
He was
and
in
he's, like,
another dimension.
Yeah,
Nightmare.
It's like a DMT trip.
Wake up
That's what I was
screaming
just
from
getting
a
ready to
dream.
say.
yeah. And,
That
it's-
shit's in your brain.
Yeah.
and you said like thing that's like and stuff like that. It's like you don't see that level of scariness out of a fight. Like you see brutal finishes, but the damage is always sort of like negated by them getting up and moving around and be like, oh, okay, they're fine. But being out that long is like, oh, this
Yeah.
dude's health is maybe fucked up at this
Yeah.
point.
Well,
Right.
that's like what's the that kicked him on the Ultimate Fighter and he's like,
Oh, Uriah Hall.
Oh,
Uriah Hall.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that one was scary. as
That
shit.
was
The
scary as shit,
the
too.
spinning back kick or whatever
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
The worst part was afterwards. He's like, sorry, Adam.
Yeah.
Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, like
Uriah Hall just seems like a dick.
yeah, and like it was like
He's a
said
straight up
nicely,
douche,
but also
though.
just like awkward to say that while he doesn't even know where he's at.
He's
Like,
actually like a massive nerd.
yeah,
Yeah.
I could
Uriah
tell
Uriah
He seems like
just
he
looks
was
like a dick.
bullied. Like
yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was bullied.
Well, maybe that's a reason to be a dick then.
Yeah, you were bullied your whole life. Now you're a badass.
Yeah, I mean, you might
Now
have a
you're a
reason to be
cop.
an ass.
badass half your fights.
Say now you're a cop.
Yeah, unless you're in your own head.
Yeah.
You're the worst.
Or
I know
become a
quite
cop.
few of those.
he said now
Become a
you're a cop.
Get you
another
back, pew, pew.
career. Yeah. Another career
All
choice.
right.
for
Anyway,
Okay.
we're just gonna move along off of that subject.
I'm excited to see Chaos fight again. I like his mentality too. Like honestly, how he's staring at me right now on this computer screen is how he was staring at Alisson, and I'm terrified.
He's looking at me actually.
No, he's looking.
Actually,
His
he's
eyes are
looking
following
at-
him.
Actually, he's looking at me.
I gotta get out of here.
Staring at all of us.
He's gonna fight this whole table. All right. Very impressive. Can't wait to see him fight again. Moving on to Paul Felder versus Rafael dos Anjos. Sorry.
Look at the mustaches on.
Yeah, it was a decision for Rafael dos Anjos, but I got to tell you, I was very impressed with Paul Felder. I mean, he took this on 5 days' notice or whatever.
Right.
He looked great.
Sharp. He looks sharp.
He
He
looked
said he
real
hadn't
sharp.
set foot in an MMA gym in 4 months.
Yeah, his striking was sharp, powerful. And the big takeaway I had from this one, that Dos Anjos is obviously a beast, but also that Paul Felder does not belong talking about retirement.
He
No.
said he's around. He's gonna stick around.
Yeah.
He said he's gonna lose some of his rankings. He lost his fight, but I mean, like, there's in my mind, it's like, I mean,
I don't think you can punish him too much for it.
No.
I think he looks like he's got a lot left in the tank, and who
A
knows
lot
what,
left.
Who
He looked
knows
great.
with the full camp what he does? You know?
Yeah, I mean, he was having a problem with the grappling, obviously, but again, a full fight camp, that might be a little bit different. But his striking looked phenomenal.
and I feel like this was a better opportunity for RDA because Felder's actually ranked, so he got a late replacement matchup with somebody who's ranked compared to somebody who's not ranked in the top 10. So now he's
Yeah.
gonna effectively steal
It propels
Felder's.
Dos Anjos pretty far.
Right, yeah. Islam Makhachev would have been a good win just by his skill set, but as far as ranking goes, this
Right.
puts him higher.
How does it not put him at least number 7? You know?
Right, he has to take his
Yeah.
ranking at least a little bit.
Well, Ed, I know you had said that you have to think, like, everybody's like giving Paul Felder credit, but you got to give Dos Anjos credit because he was training for a completely different stylistic fight and went from
Yeah.
a wrestler
Yeah.
to a striker. But with that, we kept saying, like, hey, man, would you please just fight a striker instead of fighting all these
Yeah, it's
wrestlers?
good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we wanted to see what RDA could do against a guy who wasn't going to grapple fuck him the whole time.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he ended up grappling.
Yeah,
Right.
afterwards.
Well,
which
Gabby
is
looks
weird.
sharp.
It's like, if he's that good at wrestling, why does he get wrestled like that? I think he's a little undersized.
Yeah,
Well,
170.
he definitely was.
Yeah, like, Usman versus RDA, just like body wise, and how strong Usman. He lost to Usman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like when he's fought Usman and Colby. Colby's a great wrestler too.
Right.
It's just like, I mean, unless you're actually at that skill level and that big too, it's just, you can't really compete as well, or you're set behind the wrestling.
Yeah.
And being back in this weight class, I feel like there's not a lot of wrestlers in the top of the division now. With Khabib gone, there's Poirier, Ferguson, Connor. So
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
could be looking at a run from this on.
And
Yeah.
then you
Yeah.
can insert, if you would want, you can insert Michael Chandler into that too.
I don't want to.
I know you don't.
Chandler and Dos Anjos, that's the fight.
I
I'll-
thought that would have been a good fight.
Yeah, he
Like,
said he has other plans.
I know. So we'll see what ends up.
He's kind
going
of
on
entitled
with that.
though. He's feeling kind of entitled.
He
Like,
is. It's because they gave him the backup
Well,
fight just
yeah,
off the
Dana
rip.
was just like, here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
I mean, yeah, if you could pick your spot and they're letting you pick your spot, why wouldn't you?
exactly.
But what are the plans? Because everything seems to be getting locked
Ferguson,
up.
I guess.
I
Yeah.
think that's
Okay.
probably what's gonna happen.
He's about to fight the Dark Knight, right?
I liked that. I thought
That is a
was,
cool
like,
nickname, actually.
What
That was
is
kind
it?
of cool.
The Dark Knight.
The
That's what
Dark
Ferguson
Knight,
calls
I mean,
that.
everything else was like, what the fuck are you
Yeah.
saying?
Well, we all know
Really?
he's a lunatic.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, literally a lunatic.
How do you think that matchup is for Chandler? By the way, are you afraid of that fight for Chandler?
I think that Tony's chinny.
You think so? Well, he took a lot of punches in that. Like,
I don't know if I'd call him shitty. I thought he should have been knocked out like 40
Yeah.
I mean,
times.
that
Who
honestly
takes all those
surprised.
bombs?
It's not so much that he's chinny and gets knocked out, but he's chinny in the sense that when he gets touched, he used to go down.
Man,
a lot.
he wasn't going down in that fight at all.
No,
He did.
it
He actually.
surprised me.
Did he ever even actually go down? No, his brain just stopped working and he started twitching. He was
No,
just
but
like, well,
he does like have a lot of openings and gets hit a lot.
He
and,
does
like,
get hit a lot.
That puts him on his back a lot.
I feel like
And
Chandler's
luckily he is
skinnier.
good from his back, and he seems to gain focus
But
back.
yeah,
But
hit by fucking.
is he ever even going to be the
Did
same?
he get knocked out?
after-
Well, Brooks knocked him out too.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like Chandler's been knocked out more cleanly than Tony has. And then like Pitbull hits hard, but like who hits harder, Gaethje or Pitbull? I don't know.
I don't know. I'd love to find out though.
Yeah, like that'd be a great fight. But like
I
you
would
get,
totally love to find out.
I think also too, it just depends on a lot of it's like shots you don't see coming, and like whenever
Right.
you're striking. And it's like sometimes you would expect someone to get dropped by a punch, and they do. And then sometimes they take a barrage of punches and they don't go down. So it just depends on the strike too.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put it past Chandler to knock out Tony standing. But I feel like just like the war of attrition is like always favors Tony unless you're like in that mode, unless you control the fight. And I don't know if Chandler control the fight as often as he
and
needs
even
to.
when even when Gaethje did control the fight, Tony was still in there. If we're 10 seconds left or whatever
I was just
it was.
really surprised because if you go back and watch some of Tony's other fights, when like he does the thing where like when he gets dropped, he just does flips and rolls around, and it's like he did that so much. And like he must have just conditioned his chin.
Yeah, well, I feel like a lot of it too. Like he sort of doesn't get hit as cleanly as people think. Like maybe just me giving that perspective, but like a lot of the punches too, a lot of fighters, like even Poirier, when he gets hit cleanly, it sort of rolls with the punches a little bit, and you can kind of negate some of the power. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he does that a lot, and it looks like he's getting hit really clean, but he just is awkward and rolling around. And
I feel like
moving.
some people just have an innate ability to like shake off losing consciousness too. Like he's just like Diaz and shit. They're just like, I'm not gonna go out. Like
honestly, like Johnny Walker, because he gets knocked out 5 times a fight.
In one fight.
Wakes up and starts like going after people again.
Right.
What the hell?
The ref's just like, go ahead.
Like, oh wait, no, oh, okay.
Keep fighting.
But like with the Gaethje fight, Tony, like I think that he couldn't. I think in his other fights, he creates a level of like chaos that like he like raises like the stakes in the cage, and other people break, and he like takes over. But like Gaethje never let him do that.
Right.
He controlled the whole fight. And like I don't know if Chandler could control that sort of like striking range and that level of chaos. People get sucked up in that and like sort of like get drowned by Tony.
Yeah.
So like that was his like sort of
too much
skill.
panic action going on at once.
Yeah, and like it depends on. Sometimes you can't do that for every fight. That's why he lost the Gaethje fight, I think. So
Man, that Gaethje fight, it just sounded like a bat hitting a 2x4 over and over again.
And Gaethje fought a perfect fight that fight though too. It was impressive. So.
Yeah, he did not fight a perfect fight against Khabib.
No, me and Kyle mentioned was talking about the fight, and it's like he just was panicking. Like in retrospect,
he was scared as soon as he came out.
Yeah. He was panicking.
Like, and I get
I would be. Too,
I get wanting to like stay away from Khabib. That's a good strategy, and like keep it. If you got to be off balance a little bit, backing up, okay. But like at some points, you're gonna have to pick and choose. Like I'm gonna stand my ground here.
Yeah.
And come after him and put him and go on the offensive, but he was just all run.
Yeah. And once Khabib realized he wasn't planting his feet and trying to throw back with bad intentions in the way that he usually does,
just coming forward.
Yeah, like there's nothing that's going to stop that pressure, and you don't get any respect for from Khabib. So, and I feel like we were talking about it too, and I mentioned like I feel like Tony could have fought a better fight than Gaethje did that night, just based on the fact that mentally I don't think Tony's ever going to be like scrambled mentally enough to like be afraid to implement what he's trying to do. He might get beat.
It all makes me think Conor could come back and be the fucking lightweight champion.
Well, with Khabib gone, I think there's a good chance.
That's a good possibility.
Oh boy.
Depends.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends.
I think it's a good possibility. When you go back and watch some of Conor's old fights, like what he was doing striking wise was
phenomenal.
It was
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
And like what Gaethje, and even though Conor lost the fight ultimately, what Gaethje didn't do with like stand your ground in some moments, and like I felt like Conor had some of that. Like there were moments in the fight where Conor did well.
Yeah.
Compared to anything we've seen anybody else do to Khabib.
Right. It's not like he was overly impressive, but comparatively to the rest of the smashings
it wasn't the dominant Khabib that we see in every other fight. It was a dominant still, but like not like it's a total wash. Like
but
they went to the 4th round.
But Khabib got better, I think, too, though. Like,
I agree.
The way that Khabib pressured
for sure.
Gaethje, like I don't know if Conor would you got to think about skill set wise. Would he find the opening he needs to land his straight left and his punches and kicks if Khabib's pressuring that much and not giving that respect and giving that opening? Because it was very awkward the way he'd engage striking with Justin. It was like very frantic looking and like
very frantic.
Yeah, and like I don't know who's done that to Conor ever. I don't know, but like I don't know who's ever been standing behind against Khabib when he's doing that either. Because I think Conor's more accurate than Gaethje.
Yeah.
So like skill wise, it still matches up really interestingly, but
if Conor comes back and becomes lightweight champion, that question starts cooking though. Like, could Conor beat Khabib? If like,
I don't know.
I still I don't think it's really. It's like, no, probably not. Like, but the question will get it'll get heated up to where people will want to see it.
I think Khabib might just be Conor's kryptonite.
Oh yeah.
Well, it just he already beat him, so like there's less of a question than like a hypothetical what if, because it's been answered. But like different versions of each other fighting, you can always do that. Like what if Prime 2015 Conor fought Khabib?
Well, just like Conor versus Fiore now, that's very interesting. Compared, like knowing what happened before, knowing their the way both fighters have grown, and where are they at now? Like it's a great fight.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
But has Conor grown since the Khabib fight? Because he's only had one fight since then, and like he's smashed Cowboy.
No, but
out.
he's grown since Fiore.
Oh yeah, I agree. But like, we need to see more Conor to see how much he's grown.
Yeah.
He might be worse against Poirier when he comes back. He might be in a worse. We don't know how he's going to look until he actually fights. So.
I will say, talking about question marks, back to Chandler real quick. We will all give Chandler more credit when he gets a win in the UFC.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree.
I feel like we spend so much time talking about lightweight, dude.
Yeah, well, it's because there's
no fights book besides Conor versus Dustin. So
as for this fight, good win for Dos Anjos. He looked great. Paul Felder also looked good. I look forward to seeing both of them fight again.
I think he called out Conor. RDA called out Conor.
He did.
Conor said, "Let's do it."
But I feel like he's a step slower. RDA is a step slower than he was in his like championship prime. But he still looked. He didn't look like past it. Like he didn't look so past it that he couldn't compete with the rest of the division. I'd like to see him versus Charles Oliveira. I feel like that'd be a great fight stylistically.
Has Conor ever told anybody no to a fight though? Like every time somebody's called him out, he's like, "Yeah, let's run that. Let's do it."
Yeah, but don't we kind of like that? No,
I do. We do, but like,
we do.
But
if
like,
you sign for it.
It's like, can you even take it seriously? It's like you can't be open to every fight, dude. Like sometimes you got to be like, that doesn't make sense.
Unless you're Kevin Holland, and then or like Hamzat, and then you're like, okay, and then they fight every 2 weeks, so they will actually do it.
And then the annoying thing is none of it comes to fruition. So like,
I feel like a lot of it's like politics with Conor. It's like
I can't say no to a
they
fight.
They need to make money off Conor the best way possible, so they'll optimize Conor and use him when the best money, money making.
I think that's exactly what it was, and I think it's why Conor had to force their hand with that charity match.
Yeah.
Because I think that's exactly what it was. They're like, we don't want you to fight till we can fill an arena.
Dude, they charge 4 times the amount on the gate. Like, they don't want to lose that.
And they charge 4 times the amount, and it still sells out.
Yeah.
Right. So, but it's also disrespectful to Conor because it's like, well, this guy's skill and his career isn't worth putting ahead of our business model. And like it's disrespectful to somebody who wants to fight, and he's a fighter, and that's his skill in his trade.
And I think it might be bad business anyway because in some ways you're losing the shine on Conor as well.
And you're losing years on him. Like,
right.
He can fight later when there is an audience too.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it just seems like you have to be in like fight shape and be ready and be rolling along and fighting often in order to have the best version of that fighter. So. And
with the way things are looking, I'm not sure we're going to have crowds anytime soon.
Yeah.
No, I mean we won't even have gyms.
Yeah.
Then next week,
theaters,
or whatever. Yeah, like
it's
food.
Fucking sucks because just when I'm starting to get like right into starting to like really understand everything and like getting excited to go every day, Devin's probably gonna have to shut down.
Yeah.
It's just very uncertain times for everybody, and like it extends to MMA and extends to fucking. I don't even know.
Extends to how long I'll have a roof over my head.
Well, the restaurant business is very, very fickle.
Yeah, I'm glad I work for a place that is always open.
Yeah. All right.
Sad podcast today.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. Let's move on to some future matchups we might like to see, and we'll start with Corey McKenna, who's ranked number 20 at strawweight.
I think Carolina's going to be retired. I think she was.
Yeah, she has not been doing.
And Randa Marcos needs to retire. She's 10-10. She used to alternate wins. She used to be like win one, lose one for like years, and now she's lost 3 in a row.
Yeah,
so.
6-9-1 in the UFC.
Got a fight already, but I would like to see one of those. Against Dern.
I don't think McKenna even need to step up. If you want to go backwards, down a little bit, I think she probably could fight with someone lower ranked too, because it's her first UFC fight. So
like Felice
Herrig.
Yeah.
Or actually
Ashley Yoder.
Or Lema Lukbumi, who is a Muay Thai fighter who fought like a few months ago.
I swear, until I saw that, I thought you made that up.
Did you watch the Why We Fight thing with Kat Zingano?
Lukbumi.
Why would you ask me that?
Because, what did I ask you that?
Why would you ask me that? Watching a documentary on women's MMA.
No, it wasn't just.
Why would you ask me that?
It wasn't just about women's MMA.
I want to watch a documentary
She
on
did
women's
other
MMA.
stuff too, but like men.
Training upside down on top of each other, just rolling around.
$60.
Oh my god.
No, I'm joking. I didn't see it. I would watch it.
We all assumed you didn't see it.
No, actually, I did watch it. It was good.
That would have been hilarious if you were
Documentary
like,
of the
actually,
year.
it was excellent.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see it. But
Anyway, she was on that.
who? Loma?
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a Muay Thai background, right?
That's what it was on. I fucking hate you.
I'm sorry.
Look, boon me.
Look, boon me.
What's her name? I didn't know.
I know. It just doesn't seem real.
Look, see do.
Well, she's from
Oopsie-doo.
Thailand. Of course it doesn't.
But it's just
real.
like 3 random. Well, boon is kind of a word, right?
Yeah.
Boon. Yeah, it's a word. I know.
Boone County.
Looks a word.
Yeah, well, look, but like me with 2 E's.
Me.
It sounds like it's like a creator fighter name.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Oh
That's
my
an Xbox
god.
like pre-generated gamer tag.
Those are the best ones to find when you see them.
Yeah.
Mine for a while was like enormous purse, and I just left it. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna be enormous purse on Xbox Live.
The
Like, I
one
don't
it gave
give a
me
shit.
one random one backbone pick.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is it like?
backbone
I
pick.
need to do that.
It's always
Yeah.
like the most random words smashed together. And it's
Yeah.
like, all right, that's funny enough. That's like because it's
I didn't even know you could like auto
I'm
generate.
crying
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I know. I picked mine, but I made like an alternate account one time and just was like, fuck it, whatever. And backbone pick is what it gave me. I was, what the fuck's that?
But like you think about like when you create your own, anyways, it's always some like it's either dumb or corny or like we. It's just like what do you even pick anyways? But,
It's
Mine
been, my
was-
name's
I
been
don't
the
make
same since
creative
like
fighters.
my fucking ICQ screen name. You know what I mean? I've
What's
had
your-
the
what's your
same
name on
online
Xbox?
name.
Not Xbox, PlayStation.
What is it?
Hammer of the Gods.
see, that's kind of cool,
Yeah.
but still kind of cheesy too a
Mine's
little bit.
Third
It's-
Eye.
See, that's Tool song and
Yeah,
like a
but it's been like
metaphysical
my
reference.
online name, like for when I had to do like make a name, has been Third Eye since ICQ and AIM.
Dude,
like
my old name was The Grudge. It was another Tool reference. We both had Tool screen names.
Mine's Earthwalker.
Or see, like, what's that mean?
It was a album by a band.
See, like, it's always just like sort of like something like that.
yeah.
Where it's like something either play off your name or like something you like when
Yeah.
you're 14.
And then like
Yeah.
the
You
year
know?
you graduated
Yeah, yeah.
or your birthday.
My first screen name was like Adidas 934904. Adidas, just like the.
All
Good
day I
name
dream
for it.
about
Do you really
sex.
like Adidas?
I mean, like
All day I dream
act
about
like
sex,
I did.
Dude. That's what it probably was.
Oh, yeah, that corn song, right?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So I don't know. For these girls, Felice, Eric, I actually like the Ashley Oder idea.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
both
they
won
both
tonight.
just fought.
Please, Harry's
The
not gonna
timing
fight
works.
these
Yeah.
Fucking run it.
It's like a young girl versus like an older,
Yeah, like
Yoder's
milfs on
33.
young girls.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
just like the. It's the most-
What the fuck?
She's just disgusted with us. You need to start a women's podcast, like with women.
You know,
MMA
we'll
podcast
start-
with women.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a real fun time finding
3 women to talk about
finding
MMA
some
with.
of them to do a podcast with. Yeah.
We'll just start you your own MMA podcast so you don't have to deal with us.
Please. If you file a restraining order against me, I understand. I wouldn't hold it against you.
We can still be friends.
I'm open to a
From a
restraining
distance.
I'm open to a restraining order.
I do the podcast from my car. Sit out there in the parking lot.
order. A little CB radio.
Yeah.
Brandon has something to say.
You hear me talking about laughing about a women's fight. You cut me off mid conversation.
Yeah, I gotta go, Brandon.
Oh my God. He said I'm open to a restraining order.
I'll file it for you if it makes you feel any better. I understand. I bring it on myself.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. What's next? What's happening?
Ooh.
All right. So we're probably looking at middleweight for those other guys, right?
Yes.
Holy
Oh
shit.
my god. Okay, I need to stop crying when I laugh because my eyeliner is getting on my contact.
You not work tonight? Or you off?
I'm off, yeah.
So you got your schedule changed, right?
Yep, it's official.
That's nice.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday fucking
Do you work
suck.
like 10-hour shifts now?
Yeah.
That's not.
Better
I'd
to
rather
do
work
that, though,
4
man.
10-hour shifts,
Oh, yeah.
adding a 2-hour at the end of your night instead of working an extra day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
like that extra day means a lot. You know, a lot of times it's like, how do I go to the bank? If
Well,
I only-
especially when I work overnights, when you only get 2 days off, you really only get 1 day off because you finish
Right.
up
You
that
sleep.
morning.
You
so,
sleep all day.
If not, if you're me, I force myself to stay awake.
But who won? Strickland, right?
Yeah, Sean Strickland won. A lot of people are kind of locked up right now, but maybe
Jocko?
I was thinking Jotko, Shabazian, or even Omari. I mean, I'm not really excited to see Omari fight again.
Well, he needs to step down.
Yeah,
He needs to step down all the way down.
I guess Shabazian would make sense.
He needs to step down to Titan FC.
Yeah.
Bare fighting.
I feel like Omari, just because of his ranking, is a good fight for Strickland because it'll give him a nice bump, and I don't see Omari just being able to outclass him on the feet or anything like that.
He'd probably try to grapple Strickland. I imagine.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I mean, it's weird because I think Allen was 15 in the UFC rankings. I remember him being ranked higher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Allen and
Let's
Shabazian.
talk about this for a minute.
Allen and Shabazian are both coming off a loss. I mean,
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna try to push Edmund and keep him in like sort of co-main event
yeah.
because I feel like they think that Edmund has a lot more.
Well,
star
his
potential.
loss is to Derek Brunson, so that's not.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's 15. Like that's.
Yeah, and he's
low.
only got the one loss, so yeah, they're not gonna put him down. Yeah, you're right.
But I mean,
You
it's
might
hard,
see.
it's hard
Uriah.
matchmaking in this like
Yeah,
these
it's
like
weird.
5
Like you could
people.
see Shabazian and Uriah Hall fight.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say about Uriah Hall being up there. What's
He's
what
11 on
gonna
this,
do.
but like a lot of the
But he doesn't deserve to go back and fight like Strickland, really.
Dude,
Like,
Tavares
maybe
needs to get out of there. Tavares needs to go down to like 25. He fights once a year, and his last 2 fights have been Izzy and Shabazian, which aren't bad losses, but
Ronaldo
like
Souza.
he's fighting
Marvin
Vittori.
Vettori.
Yeah,
Am I thinking of somebody else?
No, it's
that's
Jacare.
Jacare. Yeah,
Yeah.
The first time I played UFC 3, it threw me off too. I was like, wait, before
Wait,
I
does
see
it?
the
so that's
combo.
Yeah.
Jacare.
I was like,
Jacare's
wait.
back.
he's back at middleweight. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, well, wasn't he? Didn't he go to like?
he went to 205 and lost to.
No, but didn't he go to Bellator?
No.
Oh, dude, I swore he went to Bellator.
Mm-mm.
It wouldn't matter if he did. Like, he should get a
Either.
Bellator. Well, because he needs to rematch Musasi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Old Jacare needs to get beat finally by Musasi because
No.
that was a bad loss for Musasi, by the way. It's like he's like.
All of Moose's losses are kind of bad losses.
Do you remember when he went to a draw with Keith Jardine in Strikeforce? Do you remember that fight?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, like how do you go to a draw with Keith Jardine
Because you're lazy.
and you don't care if you get taken down a bunch?
The
He
Dean
is
of Mean.
So lazy.
Keith Jardine.
I remember
He's got so many like cool cameos in movies though.
he's
a
like
cool
an
guy.
actor now.
Yeah, well, he's in what's that fucking movie? The one with Jason Statham, the crazy Crank.
Oh yeah, he
I
looks
think
like
he's
he
in
would
the
be in that
first
movie.
Jesus.
I remember.
Crank makes sense.
Yeah, I remember Goldberg said something like, "He's only named the Dean of Mean because his last name rhymes with it." Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's
what-
been like how they pick
Yeah,
middle
yeah.
like
Yeah, like I remember him
forever.
saying that like on a broadcast, and it stuck out to me. It's like, yes, that's exactly why his name is.
I
Dean
hate
of
when
Mean.
people don't rhyme their middle name with or their like nickname with their last name. It bugs me.
I don't like when someone has a bad record and has a nickname that's like threatening. I don't like that.
I would
The
like
Reaper.
Yeah, like you. That's not your.
Yeah, you haven't reaped shit.
Yeah,
I would like to see something just like Uriah Doug Hall.
yeah, just like an actual nickname that was his childhood nickname growing up.
Uriah Sports
Hall.
Sports. I think this one.
Champ.
Champ.
This Pride. It was like this Pride fighter. I forget his name. But his nickname was Fighter. Like in the middle of his name, Fighter.
Good.
That's pretty.
The
pretty
Fighter.
funny.
The fighter.
The only nickname I've ever had is Punks, and that's for my dad, so I'm definitely not going to use
Use
Punks?
it. That
Punks.
I think
sounds
it's
cool.
good.
it. Or, I mean,
Listen, it's
when I was a
good.
kid, it was Punky, but now it's Punks.
Punks is cool.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's
I'm
like
punking you, dude.
especially like it's weird to come out like 0-0 like when you like make a debut, you know, and like if your name is like badass and threatening, like, we've never seen if you're like no offense to you, but like anyone.
No,
But,
right.
but if
Yeah,
your
like,
name is like
100%.
Crusher and you're 0-0
Yeah.
and it's like
It's like, what the
Crusher,
fuck?
Don't, you do have to. You do have to somewhat
Like, who do
earn
you
We
that.
haven't fought yet.
yeah,
You
maybe
literally haven't
Crusher
come by
now.
Anybody. Like, who you crushing?
yeah, like tentatively Crusher at this point.
Maybe have 2 fights before you pick your nickname. Like, you know, what did you do in those fights? Okay, you're
Yeah,
the
sweep
fucking,
by decision,
You're the
like
snail.
Sly. Yeah, something like very moderate.
The slow death.
But especially if you do end up like losing that first fight, it's like, well, man, we already have to change my nickname.
Yeah. Crushed.
Crushed.
This is like a negative nickname. Can just like
Can.
Not so great.
Canned.
All right. Well, we've really already talked about Yoder, so maybe we just move on to welterweight.
Chaos Williams.
Yeah.
Well, he has 2 fights under a minute now, so that's a pretty good record. Like 2.
No, we don't know shit about him. He sucks.
Well, me and Kyle was mentioning when we were talking about this fight. Like, I've seen tons of guys just like have 2 starch. Like,
Hype train.
yeah, like Houston Alexander back in the day was a good example we talked
Yeah.
about. Like he just like came on,
Melvin Gillard.
smashed some people, and it's like then flamed out. So I'm actually pretty tentative. I want to see Chaos Williams fight again, but I need to see more to actually get excited.
Yeah.
Does he even exist?
I mean, knockouts are all like that are exciting.
Okay, he knocked out. We could actually put him right there. Like we could tentatively place him.
At
Michelle-
54.
It's crazy how these how deep is this division that Lazez beat Hal Hassan last and he looked really good, and then Tristan Connolly beat Michelle Pereira in that fight. But these dudes,
Are these dudes even employed by the UFC?
I think they fought recently, but they're like 50.
Yeah, I was
Like
just
who's the
gonna
rest of
say.
the guys?
Yeah.
This
Where are they
division's
at?
like so
Max
deep.
Griffin's all the way down here.
Yeah, and
This
these
is
dudes, it's pretty deep.
welterweight.
You gotta think how deep welterweight is.
Here he is. He's right here.
How many people does the UFC?
That's not
employ
him.
now?
Yes, it is. It just said down. It says right down here. If you go to.
His name is
Caleb?
Chaos.
Yeah, but that's not.
His
his-
mother did not name him Chaos.
Yeah, if you go down to the
That-
other
that-
guy, it
that has
literally
to be
says
him.
down. It says over there. It'll
It's
say
him, look
lost.
at the
It says
picture.
Yeah,
him.
he's staring
It's
at me
him.
more.
Yeah,
very
I'm
intently
I'm
than
scared
Saul.
again.
Yeah.
Question me.
I'm gonna cover up his face.
But
Yeah,
I'm gonna name my baby Chaos.
I was hoping it was Chaos.
I really was.
My
I'm
dog's
upset.
name was almost Chaos, and I was like, no, we're naming
That
him
yeah, because you
Cashmere.
name a dog
Cashmere, is
Chaos.
that the
you
Led
don't name a
Zeppelin song?
fucking
Yeah.
human Chaos.
I'm kind of mad I gave it to my parents because now I can't name my dog that.
Now he's wearing a scarf and smoking cigarettes and pictures on Instagram, right? Your dog? Oh, sorry. I'm not saying anything. But anyways, we could probably put him up
What
there.
just happened?
I didn't catch that reference. Dogs playing poker.
Okay.
I have had
Okay.
Moving along.
She brought up her dog and I had to make a joke.
All right. So
No one will see this part of that.
So
They've tuned out whenever I had the restraining order part. So we've lost
It's
viewers.
just our friends tuning in to give a like and leaving.
Oh my god.
all right, Diego Lima, maybe.
It's crazy to see Hamzat Chimaev, 35,
35.
fighting Leon Edwards, who's 3. It's nuts.
Yeah.
But
It's
that's
weird.
at middleweight. This is welterweight.
No, he's fighting Leon
He's
Edwards.
fighting at middleweight though, right?
No, he's
No.
fighting Leon
No?
Edwards at welterweight.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What the fuck?
But it's just weird.
I know it messed me up too.
Well, the optics of 35, and it's Leon Edwards
Dude.
is 3.
I swear we were talking about him fighting Leon Edwards at middleweight, and that meaning he could probably go for the welterweight title after that anyway. Either way.
No, they're fighting. At
Yeah, Leon Edwards is ranked 3
No,
at
that was
welterweight.
because I fucked up and said that because I didn't
Okay.
realize we were in
Okay.
middleweight.
I knew that happened at some point.
Yeah, no.
He
that
needs to
was
pick a
my
division
bad.
and don't be ranked to the other one because it
I
fucks
hate
me up.
it. Yeah, me
What?
too.
Oddly, I think he's ranked higher at middleweight.
He's
Middleweight,
15.
he is.
He's 15 or something
But
like that. At
that's
middleweight.
because welterweight has 300 fighters, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, and the guy he beat who fought last night. Wait a second, Chimaev.
Gerard.
Reese McKee. He fought last night and looked terrible. He lost to
Did he?
Alex Morano.
On the undercard?
Yeah, on the undercard, and he looked
yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
And it makes
So-
I didn't
Would
watch
Would you
it,
be
but I
the same
remember being on
afterwards?
yes.
No, but
He just it was a striking battle. So it's not like he got he didn't get stretchered out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He still fought 3 months later after he lost to. But yeah, I don't know. I'm tending to see Hamzat because that's a big jump up.
It's a massive jump.
Yeah,
up.
Leon Edwards is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think people are sleeping on him because he's
he
not
hasn't fought
flashy.
in a while. And
He's not flashy either.
Yeah.
He doesn't have crazy knockouts. He's not so good in one
dude,
area.
the average fan doesn't know who the fuck Leon Edwards is, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't think.
That's why he picked this fight because he has no leverage.
Yeah.
Right.
When you have no
Oh, yeah,
leverage.
Well,
No.
and he realized he had no leverage when they're like, "Fine, you don't want to fight
We're
the
out of
people
the
we want you to
rankings."
fight. You're out of the rankings. Get the fuck out of here."
And it's actually good for him because of the Hamzat Chimaev hype is higher
Yeah.
than most people he could have fought.
I feel like Leon Edwards hasn't really even been relevant since Woodley was champ, though. I feel like it's
Since
been
he
that
started
long.
shit with Masvidal, and he wasn't even relevant in the cage, but that's how he had to try to make himself relevant. Was
Got punched.
stepping in Masvidal.
yeah, I got 3 pieces.
3 pieces of soda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I the only person that
I
thinks
love
Masvidal is needs a fight and actually I feel like he's an Instagram star now and
No, I would like
social
to see him
media.
fucking fight already.
he needs to fight for sure.
He's prolonging his
15
training.
minutes.
Hanging
So,
out with Valerie
huge-
Laredo.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just seems I don't want the fame to get the Diaz brothers got so big that they didn't need they just could smoke weed all day and hang out with them party and it's
Yeah.
I hate when fighters' careers descend into that once they get big.
Yeah.
It's always disappointing because I do like Masvidal as a fighter. So
Oh yeah.
Now
Yeah.
that the election's over, Masvidal will be back probably.
I hope so.
railing against socialism
Yeah.
for Trump.
But
Or whatever.
who's Masvidal fight? right now. You know what I mean?
Colby.
Yeah, that's the fight.
Oh my
right?
god.
I
That's
thought
the
they were
fight.
making that. I
That's
thought they were
the
making
fight.
that.
I mean, I've heard there.
Yeah, they were talking about it 3 months ago.
Oh, that's
Right.
the fight to make.
Why hasn't it been made yet? That's what I'm wondering. They could easily headline a pay-per-view. I feel like
Yeah.
they could.
Oh,
based
yeah.
off star power and
And
the hype.
and the hate
And
they
the
have for each
bad
other.
blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like that's the only fight to make. Burns is fighting Usman at some unknown time that's not been signed yet
Oh,
for some
yeah.
reason.
That should be. Why isn't that materialized?
That's what I mean.
Because of COVID, it went away, and then like, why didn't
It
they
pisses me
reschedule
off,
2
like-
months later? Like,
And Woodley should be out of the top 5. He has 3 losses.
yeah,
And the only
15
person who even has a fight in the top 10 is Stephen Thompson.
and he is fighting
Jeff Neal.
Jeff Neal.
I don't know why Stephen Thompson didn't fight Michael Chiesa. Like none
don't
of these
think-
dudes fight.
Chiesa doesn't want anything from anybody.
Where
He's just
is,
like thinks he deserves a title shot right now.
Where's Vicente Luque at?
He's like probably 12 or 15. He's 12, yeah.
Wow.
I thought Chiesa should have took the Khamzat fight.
Yeah, because I need somebody that actually has a grappling offensive attack.
And I
Like,
think it would give him a little bit of leverage at the title picture. Like,
Well, now Leon Edwards, if he wins, is going to steal that leverage. And
what about Magny, dude? Like,
Magny wanted to fight against
that's what
Hamzat.
I'm saying. Like, Magny should fight Chiesa.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good fight. But Perez needs to go out the top. I don't know if he's even fighting
Diaz,
anymore.
get the fuck out of there.
He actually won against Cerrone at welterweight, but like Diaz has not won a welterweight fight since he beat Pettis, who beat Wonder Boy. So it's like all relative rankings here.
MMA
Yeah.
math makes no sense.
I know, just like how they rank people is just actually really random. Like he beat him a while ago, so he's gonna stay in the top 10 forever until he actually retires.
Yeah, and he's bigger star power, so we like that number 7 next to his name.
Yeah, because like Pettis, like if you think about top welterweights, who in the world thinks Anthony Pettis?
No, you
Like
think
you know,
lightweight.
like I don't think of it.
Yeah.
He's not
5
in the
years
mix.
ago.
Yeah, he got that flash knockout against Wonderboy, which is a good knockout.
And
But
he-
that's kind
he
of
bounces
fluky.
around weight classes a lot to where it's like, oh, where is he at any given weight class?
Yeah, because I think he went back down to 155 and lost to Diego Fiera.
Yeah.
So like he last lost a fight at 155. So they need to actually be more proactive, taking him out of the rankings when they lose in another division. Like you should be losing a ranking instantly in another division.
But so what do we think for Williams?
Oh, okay. Fucking Matt Brown's fighting
I
Condit.
know. I'm
That's
so
cool.
excited for that
That's
fight.
awesome.
I'm so excited.
So they usually do. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing him fight the winner of Tim Means versus Mike Perry.
Yeah,
That happens
I'd like that.
next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Time-
good.
Mike Perry's
Lines up.
fucking.
Yeah,
Tim Means hopefully wins that fight, I would think.
Mike
I don't
Perry's
think-
just crazy.
Tim Means kind of like he's kind of over the hill for his career. He's
Yeah.
kind of older, but yeah,
I-
Mike Perry is like
I feel like
unpredictable.
Mike Perry's a mess, though. Dude.
Oh yeah.
Dude, his life is like I don't want to be able to tell that your life is in shambles
I was
just by like interviews and Instagram.
TMZ.
Yeah, like I shouldn't know that much about you and you beating up your ex-girlfriend or wife or whoever.
Yeah.
Like I don't like
Yeah, keep
I
that shit in the
definitely
trailer
see
park.
it, though.
yeah.
I definitely can see it.
Yeah, there's no way that you'd like. There's no way Mike Perry would ever beat a woman. Like
Look at his face. It
Yeah.
looks like a woman beater face.
he's gonna beat your ass, dude. My ass too.
His new girlfriend's pregnant.
I'm gonna have to find Glover to protect us. Call him up, and like Glover,
Glover.
please,
Cute,
Mike Perry,
cute little Glover.
get Mike Perry for us, dude.
Oh my god.
I'd pay to watch. Would you pay to watch Glover versus Mike Perry in a fight? Not pay, but I'd be interested in that fight.
I mean, I'd watch it, but
Yeah.
that seems like a mauling.
Yeah. Starch him. dude.
What's Mike Perry, like 5'7"?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's move on. We're going to be looking at Dos Anjos, who is not currently ranked. So,
Hooker or Do Bronx.
Oliveira.
Or, yeah.
Yep, I like
Yeah.
those.
I like both those.
I mean,
I like Oliveira. I just want to. Anybody fight Oliveira. I want to see where Oliveira's at. You know, like I want to put anybody who's willing to fight in that top 10 against Oliveira.
and
right
actually,
Yeah.
it kind of creates a little bit more movement in this division because having RDA slaughter up there real fast and somebody who just won kind of creates a little bit more of a fresh look in the top 10.
now.
Right.
Because like whoever doesn't fight,
It opens some fights up.
yeah, because like Oliveira, if he doesn't fight RDA, like Hooker, Oliveira, and Diego Fiera and RDA can all be matched up together. There's four people can fight anybody in this top. There's 4, and the rest of the division can shake out the top.
I don't like that we don't see Conor McGregor next to Dustin Poirier's name. like that the match is signed.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, come
but
on.
It is, right?
Yeah, for
Well,
now.
Poirier has signed it. Connor has
Connor
I
not.
don't think so.
Poirier was
Connor
the one that
still
was
hasn't.
like, if there was negotiations being held up, it was supposed to be on Poirier's end.
Yeah.
I can never tell with the media stories that come out whether they're true or
Yeah,
whether,
could be
whether or
total
not.
bullshit.
And like I always feel like maybe the conspiracy theorist to me is like Dana White feeds out certain like
Probably.
Yeah.
Dustin
sure.
doesn't want to sign the contract, and then like that puts the media pressure to him to sign the contract, or he looks like
Yeah,
like a
Dustin,
bitch.
why aren't you signing the contract,
Yeah,
buddy?
no,
But
Dana's
you
definitely-
actually, but Poirier even tweeted out himself like, send me a real contract.
Right.
You know, so he basically saying like they're not offering me what I want.
I feel like though
Ugh.
that Dana has done that before. Like
Oh, yeah.
he's lowballed people. It made it seem like the guy wouldn't want to fight nobody, but you just gave him a shit contract.
It's, like, why are you trying to lowball somebody on a Connor fight, though? Like,
Yeah.
this is their payday. Give
Yeah.
that one, too.
But the problem
you
is,
got
is
the money for that.
the problem
The
is
gate.
is that the gate is
Yeah.
gone, so that's a big part of the income from
Yeah.
that.
But it-
so you can't expect the same money you would have got with a gate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm sure.
But
Like,
is it-
does Poirier not realize that? Like, it's like, I mean, I get that you're a fighter and you're trying to get as much as you can every time, but it's like, don't you realize like
Yeah.
your business isn't gonna kick you as much money when they're not making a gate, dude? It's just simple. Like,
Yeah. Well, I don't know the figures either. Like none of us are privy to that information, so we don't know
you're
what
lucky
he's
you're
asking
working.
for.
Right. We don't know what he's asking for sure.
It might be
but-
reasonable. I don't know. It might be
Right.
terrible.
Yeah. But I just think it's something that we all have to also think about. Like some of these people are probably still asking for. I'm not saying Poirier himself is, but asking for money like everything's the same as it always has
Yeah,
been,
I
and
want
it's
$2
not.
million, and
And-
it's like,
And do you think that it's like, is it relative? Like, is Connor taking a pay cut? Like, you know what I mean?
probably
I don't
not.
know.
Probably not.
That's what I mean. I don't know. And like, is that the disrespect that Poirier feels? Is like, oh, Connor didn't take a pay cut,
Right.
and this is his contract, and I'm making
I've been
three-
fighting
$300,000 for this fight, and that's my contract, and Connor's making $10 million off the bat.
And he has
Yeah.
every right to
Right.
feel that way if that's the case.
Yeah, because it's like, it's not like he's fighting some random dude. Like if it's Connor fighting like even like Oliveira, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense why there's a discrepancy. But Poirier should make, in my mind, he should make $1 million, dude.
Yeah,
He's a fucking
easy.
top level
He
fighter.
was,
Dude.
he was
Yeah.
the interim champ. I mean,
Yeah, and like I feel like there's a certain
But
level
I feel
of
like with a gate, he's probably asking $3 million or something. you
Yeah.
know?
yeah, and like I said, I don't know the numbers.
And
so.
he might be asking that still. Like,
Right. We don't know.
we have no idea really.
But I feel like that the UFC needs to do it what they need to do to make it happen and sort of grease the wheels a little bit too, because it's like this fight's important to the division into their standing and like
Yeah, like you can't just take one for the team UFC and like pay the guy.
I mean,
Like,
to me, that's really hard to say because they're not.
yeah, we don't
Yeah,
know the numbers.
There's
so
no
it's
there's
like-
no fans, but they're not negating production value because of that. So they're still paying all of those bills.
Right.
You know what I mean?
yeah. I don't know, like
But they do get a guaranteed amount of money from Disney
Yes,
and shit.
in
now.
ESPN, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's bigger brains than us that deal with
Yeah.
like
oh,
fucking like
yeah.
whether or not
Marketing,
it makes
Dude.
sense
money,
financially.
finances.
My brain is fucking huge.
It is a pretty big brain.
They should just sign all the contracts.
Just contracts.
Just sign them. Whatever they put in front of them.
Yeah, dude.
Don't read no fine print.
You're lucky to even be fighting in the pandemic,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
50,000
I mean,
a show.
really, that is kind of the
50,000
case. Like,
away.
motherfucker, like you're lucky to even have a job right now. Do you want to fight or not? Like,
Yeah.
I guess
is it that important to you or not? Like,
Honestly, it's one thing you do have to say. If it wasn't for the UFC, I don't think anybody would be fighting, including Bellator.
no.
UFC.
They wouldn't have led that charge.
UFC, set the groundwork and made it happen.
Yeah, and like I guess it gets into a bigger issue of like ethics in terms of like fighters and like them being independent contractors and like how their relationship is with the UFC.
Which is a whole. can
Yeah,
of
it's a
worms.
fucking lot of
Man, and
discussion.
honestly, what the
Which
fuck
I
do you
don't
think?
really think they are independent contractors.
They're not. They can't fight anywhere else.
But they're
Nope.
considered that. I think.
What the fuck do you think it cost them to do Fight Island?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they wouldn't do it if it wasn't making them money.
Yeah,
It
there's
ain't a charity. It ain't a charity island.
But
you
it's
know?
like they might have been in a situation where, look, we're gonna lose a ton of money if we don't do nothing.
Right.
So we have to we're gonna have to sink a bunch of money right now into this.
I'd say
thing.
they probably made money, but I don't think it's the money they're used to making.
Yeah.
no, and I don't know. The UFC, like I said,
I mean, they paid what $30 billion for it or something stupid.
I think it was like $4 billion for the UFC.
Either way,
For the
$4
That's a
billion.
lot. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
only $4 billion. It's like fucking.
That's what they paid for Star Wars.
Pretty
was
sure
$4
they
billion.
might still be in the red.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, and I try not to worry about like contracts too much, and like I hate even worrying about shit like that because I just want to see fights. I don't care about like disputes like this. And like I said earlier, it's annoying that like there's so many hangups now with like contract situations, because that's what I hated about boxing. That's what I hate about boxing is the different promotions trying to negotiate and not making fights. So the UFC doing that.
That's what I'm scared of with the UFC, when it's like yeah, you want to see the fighters get paid, but like I also don't want them to have a lot of power, and they avoid each other, and they, you know what I mean, like it ends up like boxing, and it sucks.
Well, there's 5 different belts.
Yeah, like
for one weight class.
Well, I think it's one of the big reasons UFC doesn't do cross promotions and stuff like that, because they're like, no, we're not playing this fucking game. We are it.
Yeah. And like none of the promotions have leverage. Like, what's Bellator gonna? Bellator cannot do anything well for the UFC. There's no eyes it's gonna put on the UFC that they don't already have.
Bellator, if anything.
Right. Like, how many fans are out there who are Bellator fans that pay no attention to the UFC?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Bellator, you think, is leaking fans from the UFC, and that's it. Like,
yeah. It's all risk for the UFC at that point.
Yeah.
Like, if the UFC fighter loses, that just gives all the shine to Bellator
off of them
or whatever promotion.
And no one's gonna see Usman beat Lima and be like, oh, now Usman is definitely the best welterweight.
It doesn't
like
you know,
yeah, and like I like me, people who watch the fights that would be a legitimate win that would cement him as a 170 pounder, best in the world, but. In the narrative of the UFC, that's already there anyways. Yeah. No one's like, oh, Lima's better. Like, no one actually thinks that, and I can argue it with, like, quantifiable wins and losses and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, so we were thinking either Charles or Hooker for Dos Anjos.
Even Diego Ferreira, I would say that's fine.
Well, I was kind of thinking maybe Diego Ferreira or Kevin Lee for Paul Felder, or Beneil Dariush.
Yeah.
Or Drew Dober.
Yeah, like, he needs to take a step down, but I feel like he's okay with that because he lost.
Yeah.
Like, he's not gonna, and like Paul Felder has always struck me as somebody who's like smart, but also sort of like he seems entitled to like big fights, and I'm like, dude, I love you as a fighter, but you haven't won that many big fights yourself to get those big fights.
Yeah, like when did Paul Felder become a name, really?
He didn't. Like, I don't think he did.
But he is all of a sudden.
It's like out of nowhere. Probably from commentary.
The Hooker fight?
But he lost the fight, you know? Like, it was close.
Arguably, yeah.
It was very
I'd
close.
like to see maybe them run that back.
Yeah, but I it's just like, I don't know what his best wins are. He beat Oliveira 8 fights ago for Oliveira.
James Vick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and James Vick, too.
Edison Barbosa.
So, like, he has some good wins.
Yeah.
But, like, he's never made the big jump he needs to.
He's more of a name because he's one of the announcers. I think people just like his personality and shit. You know what I mean?
I'm a big fan of Paul Felder.
Yeah, I like him, too. And like, he's a fun action fighter, too.
And he's a gamer.
Yeah.
You know, he's there.
He's good.
He's there to fight.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's move on to some news. And we will start with whatever this loads up as.
All right, let's see.
I'm going to guess nothing. It's broken.
Oh,
that's the nothing one, actually. So this one is going to have something to do with Connor. So my computer took a shit right before the podcast, so I had to go steal my mother's computer from her house. And it's nowhere near as quick as mine.
All the porn that mom watches.
All the farmland.
Farmland.
Farmland and porn.
Actually, right now it is a lot quicker than my computer because mine doesn't work at all. But
whenever we go over the podcast, when I say porn, it just will edit it out and put farmland. Or
Take my voice.
Farmland.
So this says Rafael Dos Anjos. Rafael Dos Anjos calls for fight with Conor McGregor, who says he's in for sure after UFC Fight Night 182. I will be the first to tell you that if Conor does fight Dustin Poirier and beats Dustin Poirier, there's no way this fight happens. No way in hell. No. He's going to be fighting for a title or at least one of the other top contenders.
These are words. This is stupid. It's not going to happen.
Good on you to call for the fight, like whatever, you know. Like, like I understand him.
Right, I understand what you're going for. Everybody's trying to call for a Conor fight, but it's not going to happen.
I feel like RDA is very easy to like. By the way, he's very humble. He seems very nice, and he fights everybody, dude. He don't care about if they
a gamer.
Yeah, he's the same sort of Paul Felder. He doesn't care if it's striker or grappler.
Yeah.
He might get grapple fucked and lose, but he will fight him anyways. He fought Islam. He's trying to fight Islam, and
after losing to grapplers,
3 fights in a row.
I ain't scared.
Yeah. All right, another grappler, and that shows me his character a lot as far as his fighting, character.
Yeah. But that was just a quick bit of news. Let's see what's next here. All right, Rakic Thiago Santos booked for a key UFC light heavyweight bout on March 6th. This is pretty much the one we called for when we were doing our desired matchups.
Yep.
This is do or die for Thiago Santos, though. He needs to win this fight bad.
I'm
Yeah.
glad to see him get it right back on it though. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Nope.
And Rakic, we're afraid that he's just going to do the same thing and just grapple him.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's as good on the ground as
Well,
Glover is.
if
Well,
you're
no.
Ratchet and that's not your strategy,
You're
you're
dumb.
an idiot.
You're an
Like,
idiot. Yeah, you don't belong.
Yeah.
You don't
Your
belong
fight
in the top.
IQ is a 0.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, at least I wouldn't say like the whole time, but also to give him some level changes.
af-
To you
After
know.
you just witnessed what you witnessed, I mean, even on both ends, like, okay, every time he touched Glover, it was like, oh shit, Glover's going out.
Right.
Like, so you don't want to stand there and bang with him. And it's like, look how well Glover was able to do on the ground. So that's obvious
Has to be
strategy.
an avenue, yeah.
Yeah.
He hopefully Thiago Santos works on learning what to do with his legs when he's on his back.
But
Yeah.
if you're Ratchet, you assume he's got a month.
Yeah.
What is it? Like
No, actually, this is like
Good. No, March
okay.
6th.
Well,
so,
but still.
yeah.
it's funny to talk about like a quick turnaround. It's literally 4 months. And it's like,
Well, but that's-
it's
I mean,
like-
Honestly, in the UFC though,
That's
that's
pretty
I
quick.
mean, half
Yeah.
the time you're talking about 6 months to a year
That's
to
a-
2 years.
That's a
Yeah.
3 fight a year pace.
Oh,
Like
right.
that's pretty quick.
I actually like. I don't care what happens. I just want to see a date attached to this fight.
That's the thing too. Is
Yeah.
like, if the date was sooner, he probably would have done it. It's just like at least he signed. Okay, that's the fight that's available. Probably next. I'm signing it. Let's
Yeah.
go. Like,
I wonder why Rakic waited that long to book a fight. 'Cause he hasn't fought in a while. It's been like
Yeah,
3
why are they
months since
both
he
waiting?
last fought Anthony Smith. I
Yeah.
feel like he'd have a fight in December. You know. but-
Maybe they were just kind
Maybe
of
it's
waiting for
UFC's.
things to settle out in the light heavyweight division.
Right.
and I feel like UFC's for some reason trying to fill out March right now. Like that.
You know.
What's February though? I don't even know what that. What's the what's
I
that
have
paper?
no idea.
Maybe the Usman Burns. Hopefully that fight.
Maybe. Yeah.
We'll take a look at that here in a minute too.
But everything keeps landing in March. Like Stipe, that was talked about March.
Yeah.
There's no way this guy is like in his early 30s. By the way.
Streaking bantamweight.
No.
Marab
Valishvili.
Davishvili. And Barcelos are going to meet at UFC Fight Night on December
That's
5th.
Quick turnaround.
That's a
too.
quick
Yeah.
turnaround.
He looks like Robert De Niro or something.
Like a raging bull.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that. We all were really impressed by Barcelos last time. I'm glad to see him just doing a quick turnaround, getting back in there, and hopefully keep his star on the rise because he looks like one of the more well-rounded fighters we've seen in a while.
That's a good test too.
Dude, it's a great fight. As far as bantamweights that aren't the top 5, it's the best fight out there, I think. Like,
Yeah.
Well, Rob Font's fighting soon, and
I
next year.
can go and I can make.
She loves bantamweights.
I could just go. I could match make all day in this division.
I think they're the two most interesting right now. They're like
Yeah.
the prospects out there. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Dishwali, I mean, his cardio was insane. And
His grappling too is like a lot of pressure.
Barcelos, man, I mean, that was just a clinic last time. That was nice.
Yeah, but if you're talking about cardio too, Barcelos did actually gas in that third round.
That was a high output fight though.
Very high output.
So like you got to give him a little bit. I mean, I give him a little bit of leeway because it's just. Plus, like I don't
give
know.
no leeway.
You guys, you get called out on this podcast. Fucking it holds apart here. If you're a woman and you're on top of each other flopping around, then you're getting called out too.
So about that restraining order.
Yeah. Gotta wait till Monday. whole fucking night is
Not
talking.
if Kevin shuts us down, you ain't getting one.
Yeah.
Civil courts are shut down.
Sucker.
Oh my Jesus.
We're the worst. All right, moving along.
But I'm hoping to see. I want Barcelos to win. I just like it's just a way different fight. Just the grappling is going to be hard to deal with. I'm not afraid for him, but I don't have faith in his ability to keep the fight at the
But his BJJ looked great.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
He had great transitions. He was going for submissions. So I'm not completely terrified of him being on the ground.
No, me neither. It just
But with Dishwali, with his cardio, what it was last time, and like watching dude's cardio fade in the third round of the other fight,
You're
you're
just
like,
like,
man,
oh,
is he going to be able to smother him? Like,
Yeah.
there's a chance that he pulls out the first 2 rounds and sort of fades and maybe gets grappled and wins the decision that way, or he finishes them because I don't know if Merab can take that punishment that his last fight, like the way he dished it out like that. That guy had a chin on him, so like I don't know.
for
I've never
sure.
seen him hit that hard like that, so
right.
you can't imagine every fighter he's gonna fight is gonna take that punishment. So
Right. All right, so then we got Kevin Gastelum booked versus Ian Heinisch. Looks to snap skid and January 30th at UFC Fight Night.
It's a good fight for him.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy watching Kevin Gastelum fight.
What?
You're gonna say something. What are you gonna say?
I'm just gonna critique the matchup and talk about no other reference to anything else we talked about tonight.
So
No.
so what do you think of this, Brandon?
I feel like this is his fight to lose, and I mean, being serious, like thinking about this fight, Ian Heinisch is like gritty, and like I don't think those are enough tangible elements to his fighting game to beat Kelvin. Kelvin's has more punching power, better grappling, when he uses it, and I feel like he's a better fighter than
Good
Ian
clean
Heinisch.
boxing.
Kelvin's been fighting the top game for a
And
while
like
now.
Ian Heinisch is like literally just like strong and gritty and like sort of relentless, but he just doesn't have as many finishing abilities to catch Kelvin. So
I mean, if Kelvin loses, it's like, damn, bro.
well, I'm mad he even took another fight.
Bellator.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm mad he took another fight at middleweight because like he needs like
He likes tacos.
Yeah.
he likes tacos. Yes, you could like tacos and be a top 15
can we not-
middleweight.
please don't talk about food. I'm hungry.
No, I think
I was
Well,
supposed to eat and I didn't.
He likes things that go in his mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
No.
Well, he likes to eat, and he doesn't like to go to that. He doesn't like to go to welterweight. He
No.
doesn't like it.
but like I said, you could be a middling top 15 middleweight that wins some and lose some, or you could be a champion and have discipline. And
Maybe.
that's
we don't know.
But I mean, there's the potential, is higher, I think, at welterweight.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for him to get in better shape.
Because like imagine him versus Colby. That'd be a great fight.
Yeah.
And like I feel like I just feel like he doesn't seem disciplined enough, like training. Like I feel like he's a good grappler, but it's all instinctual. Like I don't know how much he like even. Maybe I'm like discrediting him, but I don't know how much he trains or like. I can't see him. I can't see him beating like top wrestlers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just, I feel like he just isn't gonna put the work in to beat top wrestlers. Like he's a
Right.
good wrestler instinctually and can wrestle, but he's not gonna be able to defend against a wrestler who's like coming forward the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, because like now that I'm thinking of it, am I talking myself out of him going at welterweight based on the fact that there's wrestlers up there? Seriously though.
Right. Maybe that's why he's staying away from there.
Yeah, like you just think about who's at the top of the division. It's like guys who will grind you down if you're not able to fight that fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then you have strikers at middleweight that are gonna bang with you.
Right. All right. Let's see what we got next here. I don't even remember all the things that I put on here. Oh, Alistar Overeem versus Alexander
Is it a
Volkov. Volkov headlines the Super Bowl card, which I agree. I think that's a great fight.
Oh look, Angela Hill.
Is that real?
Damn it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm excited for that fight. I think that, man, whoever
Logical.
wins this, yeah, it's
Title
logical.
shot.
Whoever, not title shot, but I mean, you're moving up to the top. What?
Well, maybe for
4?
Overeem though.
There's no
like-
title shots in this division, by the way.
Yeah.
No one gets a title shot besides Cormier every year.
Yeah.
That's been the
Well, because then you also have Blades and Derek Lewis fighting. If Derek Lewis wins, you got to imagine that's a title shot.
Aren't they doing Stipe and Ngannou in March?
We don't
know
yet.
for sure.
Okay.
That
I
was
just
the
know it was
tentative
talked
date.
about.
yeah. It is. I have no faith in this
Is it-
division to make a fight. That like the trajectory of
Overeem
the
will have a legit case for
Yeah.
like a number one contender though at that point. Like,
Well, but does he have more of a legit case than if Derek Lewis beats
No.
Curtis Blades?
no, but it's pretty close, and like it might end up being like, okay, we're gonna make if Lewis should win, you might end up making Lewis versus Overeem.
they wouldn't fight that anyways. And plus, the division needs time to ride out. With John Jones maybe fighting that division and Ngannou
Ngannou, all that
needing
shit.
to fight for the title eventually.
And we
like,
don't know. It largely depends on what happens with Francis and Stipe. If Stipe wins, then that probably
God
holds
damn
it up
it,
even
dude.
longer. And Ngannou wins. he
fucking
might turn right
2022,
around.
dude. And it's like everybody's be waiting until like 2 years from now.
Stipe's 47 at this point.
Yeah, I know. Like it just he goes and like hangs out in Ohio for like 9 months out of the year, and like does that all year and then fights. I like CB, but I hate inactive champions. It
Yeah.
drives me nuts whenever people are
But
waiting
it
to
makes,
fight.
I mean, it makes a little more sense for him where at heavyweight, right? You know what I mean? Like,
But honestly, I think I think the best thing that could happen for fans who just want to see the fights happen is Francis Ngannou wins, because I feel like he fights 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, he's fought 3. Well, he's
you
fought.
feel like that, but once he becomes fucking heavyweight champion, he's like, well, maybe I'll just fight once every 2 years.
I don't know. I think he's going to be more of a gamer than that. Plus, a lot of his fights are going to be, fucking
15 seconds.
right.
So,
You know
like,
what I mean? It's like, sure, I'll fight tomorrow. Whatever,
Yeah.
come on.
And also too, I mean, if Blades beats Lewis, Blades has a win over Overeem fairly recently. So like he is like right behind Ngannou, but he also has 2 losses to Ngannou. So it's like it fucks up the division a little bit too, because it's
Yeah.
like you have somebody who's lost to the number 2 guy, you're number 3 guy, and you're gatekeeping everybody else.
I mean, and honestly, dude, if Ngannou wins, does Stipe deserve a rematch? Like, like.
I part of me wants to say yes, but part of me wants to be like, no, please just.
It depends
fresh.
on how it goes, I guess. But
Yeah, if you get starched in like 20 seconds, maybe.
Yeah, and especially not if we have to wait 2 years.
Yeah, I just want to see like fresh fights. Like if Stipe wants to wait a year to get the rematch, no.
Yeah,
Francis fight 2 more people until Stipe's ready, I guess, or he could take another fight.
right.
But it just depends on like how things go, and like there's so many question marks with John Jones too. Where's he going to be inserted if he fights at heavyweight?
Right.
you
and
know?
even like Rosenstrike, dude, like.
Yeah, if he wants a few more, he's like right there too.
Yeah.
Him versus Blades would be the best bet. In that case, he wins another one. Blades is waiting around. Blades needs to fight somebody.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
top like 6 is a mess, kind of.
And then you
Yeah,
have
it really is actually.
and then
Well, not 5.
and then dude, and then if Cyril Gane beats JDS, it's like he's gonna fucking want to step up against somebody.
Yeah.
So if Cyril,
Or.
because then he'd be top 6, so maybe Overeem could fight Cyril Gane eventually. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed as hell if I was Sean Shelby trying to
Trying to
make
do
these dudes
something with
fight.
heavyweight.
Yeah, make these dudes fight each other. Like
I mean, Stipe and Ngannou's got to happen. Like, that's just.
Yeah.
they just need a Royal Rumble and have them all run the cage and then fight Ngannou, who's just blasting dudes.
That would be just fucking terrifying. Seeing all these guys in there just swinging at each other.
Yeah.
If somebody gets blindsided, they're dead.
Yeah.
And you have
Like, Derek Lewis hits somebody from the blind side, it's over.
yeah. Well, Lewis, I want to see him fight for the title, and like, I'm afraid he's gonna get wrestled by everybody he fights though. Like
Yeah.
I don't see Stipe standing with him.
Yeah, well, we're about to find out how he handles that in this fight against Curtis Blades. So
That's like. Is that on the? That's not on the pay-per-view. No, that's at the week
that's-
after.
Yeah, that's just this month. Though, so it's pretty fast.
Yeah.
But I mean, who do you think wins that fight? Like, not want to win, but you guys have that.
I mean, probably Blades.
yeah, I would have to assume Blades because of the wrestling aspect.
Yeah, Blades is not going to stand with him, and I don't think Lewis is like, he's not accurate. I feel like he clubs a lot.
Yeah.
He just does like
I
clubbing
mean, he's
strikes.
improved with every fight, but it's not like he's wrestled anybody. Like,
Right.
Yeah, or like especially somebody younger than him and bigger than him.
Yeah.
and like with a
Just with that
pedigree.
kind of wrestling acumen, I mean,
It's hard to negate.
yeah, I mean, Curtis Blades beats people that you don't want him to beat just because he nullifies them,
And
not
Right.
because he does anything exciting.
look
It's
what
just,
Olenek was doing to Lewis. Like,
Right,
Yeah.
and like he almost had him in a submission, and I feel like Blades' cardio is better than Lewis's. If he's on the bottom and getting grappled, Lewis is gonna be dead tired.
yeah.
But sometimes he just is like, I don't feel like being here anymore. I'm gonna stand up. So he stands up. So that's good for him.
Yeah, well,
The
it's
ability to do that. Just like, all right.
Good for him.
and one thing for Derek Lewis is even a tired Derek Lewis can still knock people out. He's
does
done it.
it.
He's done it on multiple
Yeah.
occasions. You're like,
Yeah.
well, Derek Lewis is out of this fight. He can barely
Yeah.
stand, and then
Comes
you're like,
lumbering
oh, he knocked him
forward.
out.
Yeah. Well, and like Blades actually slowed down in that fight against Volkov. In the last few rounds were really close with him like being tired as hell from grappling. So like that gives me room to think if he survives under him for long enough and doesn't get gassed out either, he could be even up on the feet later on.
Yeah.
So
Hasn't Blades already beat Lewis?
no.
No, they haven't fought. I thought they did.
All right, so the next one is third time's a charm. Carlos Condit versus Matt Brown, booked for UFC Fight Night, January 30th. Doesn't really mean much, but it's a good, fun fight.
Yeah.
So
I like
fight.
Well,
watching.
it should be at least.
I like Matt Brown.
It's
I do
just two
too.
guys that like
Should have
old
fought
school
5 years ago.
respect. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Condit's gonna win though. I feel like
Yeah.
Condit looked pretty good, pretty decent in his last fight, and Brown has like he's just pretty shop worn
Yeah.
body wise. Like he just, he's like he's old and like looks old now when he
Yeah.
fights.
Been in some wars.
Yeah, and I feel like it just like Condit
Why
has a
is
little
it
left in the
third
tank.
time's a charm? They've tried to book it 3 times.
I'm
or-
assuming.
Yeah.
In the last,
Yeah.
like, year or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Brown had like a ACL or something like that tear.
Something.
That's a fucking terrible injury to have when you're like 38, by the way, and like
Yeah.
near 40. That's
You know,
like
it's terrible injury to have in general. But
right, but when you're that fucking old and you've been fighting that long,
exactly.
that's like a death sentence unless you're like,
Yeah.
gritty, I guess.
And then
Herschel
the
Walker.
last bit of news, Leon Edwards out to prove UFC's blunder by schooling Khamzat Chimaev. it's going to be a shock.
Would it be a shock?
It wouldn't be a shock, but
Yeah.
I would be careful.
Yeah.
With what you're saying. Like, if he comes out there and mauls you
Now
like
you
he did
look
everybody
stupid.
else, you look retarded. Like,
Yeah.
can't say retarded anymore.
You could say it.
I approve. I don't care.
I grew up with the word retarded.
Yeah.
I'm from the 90s. That's my right to say that word.
And the dictionary, if you read it, you used it properly. So.
Yeah. But yeah, it says, I was calling out so-called top guys in UFC, Gilbert Burns, Masvidal, Covington, for over a year, and they kept turning the fight down. So I thought, okay, what's the best option? Stephen Wonderboy Thompson called me out, but if I go there and beat Wonderboy, it does nothing for my career, and I'm in the same position I'm in now. So I thought, what's the next best thing outside the champion? It's to fight the most hyped guy right now in the division, which I believe is this kid. The UFC loves him. Dana White loves him. If I go out there and smoke him, let's see what they say. I feel I'll be guaranteed a title shot after this.
I feel like we were all saying that about why he should take the fight, and he was kind of not wanting to take the fight at first.
Yeah.
And like now
He gets it.
He came around to the logic, I guess. You know, I mean, maybe somebody told him that.
Yeah, like all the hype around this guy. It's definitely give a boost. I don't know if it like gives him an immediate title shot, but
It keeps him where he's at.
it builds his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like a lose-lose still, because it's like I've watched MMA enough to know that like it's gonna be, oh, he beat somebody who's unranked, unproven. It's gonna be that, and it's shitty of MMA fans to make the narrative after a fight, after having a different narrative before. This guy's gonna smash.
Yeah.
It all the way everybody up to the top.
Yeah, it'll totally flip. Like.
Yeah, like I know that, and I know it's gonna be shitty, and it's gonna be shitty for Leon, because I feel like this is actually a pretty ballsy move to take this fight. Number 3 taking the number 35 fight is ballsy, regardless of how hyped this guy is.
Yeah.
It just is, because then but you got to strike when the iron's hot. His stock is as high as it's gonna be, this year. He's the most hyped fighter this year. I haven't seen somebody come out of the gate like this and be this hyped. So
Right.
at least Leon's reading the room, so to speak, and actually understanding what hype does to your career, and you can steal that thunder.
Yeah.
Highlander him.
Highlander him.
Yep.
All right. UFC. We'll move on to the upcoming card. UFC 255. Figueiredo versus Perez. And there's a couple of other interesting fights on here. Nothing too crazy, but you got both Shevchenkos, which we all love. Valentina. Tim Means, Mike Perry. Chukagian versus Cavillo.
Did she
Cavillo.
just
Cavillo.
Yeah, she lost she got
Liver
body
kick.
shots. Yeah.
Shogun Rua versus Paul Craig. I'm interested in that one, and I'm also interested to see Royval fight again.
Yeah.
Brandon Royval and Brandon Moreno.
Yeah.
Paul Craig shouldn't have 2 first names, though. By the way, that's
The
just
great.
Listen, we love Paul Craig.
Is this Shogun's last fight or not?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
it's got to be. Yeah.
How does he only have 11 losses? I feel like he has a lot more losses than that.
Obviously
Shogun?
not.
I mean, I just feel like
It
he's
just seems like it.
Yeah, I feel like he was like 15 or something like
It's
that.
like some of those wins, you're like, did he?
Yeah. Well, I think his last win was against Little Nog, and before that was like Tyson Pedro or something like that. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
But that fight's like sad.
Yeah, very sad.
And for Paul Craig, I feel like he should have looked for a better fight.
Right? Didn't he beat Shogun?
It was
Or
a
did Shogun
draw.
beat- it was a draw.
Right. I mean, I understand that too, but it's like this win does nothing for your career, though. By the way,
Nothing.
because I mean,
when did they fight? When did
Last
they
year.
draw? That was.
Yeah.
that was. I think it was Paul Craig took another fight after that, and Shogun took the Little Nog fight. Then they came back around and made this fight again.
I think most of us are rooting for, or I think all of us, for Tim Means over Mike Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one like beat his wife, maybe. So
that's
Yeah.
right there.
Brandon's
Already
a
rooting
fan,
against.
yeah, of course I'm Mike Perry then. if that's the case, I want to see Mike Perry versus one of those girls who fought yesterday. That's what I want to see.
She wasn't cornering him. He was just like, "You better sit over there in that corner while I do this fight."
That's his corner, right?
Don't talk to anybody.
Yeah,
The domestic violence corner, not the corner.
the dunce cap.
Valentina Shevchenko versus Jennifer Maia. I'll be honest. When I watched her highlight reel, I thought a little bit more of her. I still don't think she's going to do anything.
Yeah,
for
the highlight
Valentina.
reel they were showing for Maya last night. I was
Yeah.
like, man, she actually looks pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But
Not against
oh yeah, she's
Valentina.
fighting Valentina
Yeah,
Shevchenko.
any other girl.
Yeah.
Well, can you go to Maya real fast? I think she lost to Chukagian recently, which doesn't bode well. Like, I think she has one win since her last loss, which is against JoJo. So
Yeah, and it's like
MMA math isn't perfect,
no.
But
that does not bode well.
yeah. Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, the fight right before that.
and she lost to Liz Carmouche. So
Yeah.
But
So good luck.
I mean, it's like this is a fight they put together because it's like, well, Valentina's got to fight somebody.
needs a warm body in there.
Yeah.
Some girl.
And it makes our card worth buying to have 2 title shots on it.
And we
when
could
it's
pay her
not very good.
$35,000 for this fight, and she will accept $35,000 for a title fight.
Title fight on a co-main.
Yeah. It's sad, but like but also the same thing with Alex Perez. Like, he's also making $35,000
Right.
against Figueiredo. So,
But I'm getting more and more hyped for that fight though.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
embarrassing.
like, Perez is pretty good. Like, I feel like he's gonna lose, but I mean, it's not the worst replacement I've seen for a title fight. It's
No.
not like he's totally illegitimate, you know.
No,
Right.
I mean, it's a logical replacement, but it sucks that it ain't what it was, dude, because that would have been pretty
Nah.
But the butterflies in my stomach for the fight would be a lot worse. I'm pretty even keeled towards this card. I'm not like, oh my god, but then I'd be so nervous if
But
Cody
that's
get
what
knocked
sells
out.
the fight.
Yeah,
I'm
right,
good.
yeah.
Butterflies.
The butterflies is actually pretty important, but
Yeah.
it's scary too. Like I said last time,
Good.
like Cody, just rest at home, never take a fight again.
I just want to see Cody fight at 125, dude. I don't know.
Fight somebody who can't strike that well, and it's like
I think you
pillar
guys are
face.
like Cody's really good, dude. Like
Yeah,
He's very good.
good. He's very fast. He's very good. He's just
He's
man.
got knockout power.
He-
Those
sees
two
red.
TJ
He sees
fights,
red.
Like those 2
Yeah.
TJ fights. Well, roided out TJ, whatever. And then what was it, Munich or
Yeah.
Muniz?
His
Frankie
issue,
Muniz, yes.
His issue is he.
Yeah, Frankie
Muniz.
I thought the same thing. That's the first thing that came to my head.
He just loses his cool
Yeah.
and just starts swinging
Ball-
wildly without any protection for himself, and
Yeah.
it doesn't go well.
And I feel like he can get away with it a lot, but some people you can't.
Yeah.
And when he got tagged, he'd literally see red and just like start firing back as hard as possible.
I think he's learned.
I
he
hope.
got it through his head.
I really hope.
I know.
But that last knockout of his was fucking
Dumb.
beautiful.
Well, no, the one he got knocked
The
out
one
was
that-
dumb.
no.
Yeah,
The one that he knocked
where
the
he
dude
knocked
out.
the guy out. That was vicious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Sun's Out or
Sun's
whatever.
Out, yeah.
Tiger
He
uppercut.
said,
He just looked at him like, okay, now pow. Like,
come
just-
in, tuck down, and just fucking unload.
a Sunchild could have like done anything else. Was like he could like taped him in the body or done something to, like he
Yeah.
just stood there
shoulda,
in the
coulda,
rain.
dude.
Yeah, I agree. But like it's just like, dude, he's like crouched for 7 full
yeah, dude, it
seconds
was
in the
like, I
corner.
remember being like, oh, he's loading up.
Dude, he had a spirit bomb.
Comes.
Listen, you know how ESPN has that commercial, and it's like they show that knockout on the TV on the commercial?
Yes.
Okay, if I would have recorded my reaction, that should have been the fucking commercial.
Well,
I'm up on my couch screaming my head off, like, holy fuck!
I did
Finally.
that. Oh, when JDS knocked out Kane the first time, I fucking lost my mind. 'Cause I was
Yeah.
a big fan. I wanted JDS to win. You know?
The Ronda knockout when she got knocked out by Holly Holm, I was like going crazy.
Yeah.
Probably the time I lost my mind the most was when Anderson Silva submitted Chael Sonnen after getting beat. The
Yeah.
entire
You probably just
time.
like fuck, like the whole time, like the whole fight, like god
Yeah,
damn, Jesus.
I was pacing,
Yeah.
and then I lost my shit. I was hammered too.
I feel so stupid. I told everybody Anderson Silva was the best. He could never lose.
we were driving back. I was just screaming Anderson Silva out the window.
It's like you can't even sleep after you have like this sort of reactions, like you're
Yeah.
buzzing all night, like.
Yeah.
So it's like you're just like, oh, what the fuck? I gotta fucking just celebrate my mind forever. You know?
And then you have the
Watch
ones
more
that, like,
YouTube
you
on
hate
it.
your life. When Stipe lost to DC, my jaw literally hit the ground. I was like,
Yeah, I was annoyed because I was like so early in the fight. I'm like, come on,
Was
man.
that was
I
July
know, like I
4th.
paid for this.
That was
Yeah.
July 4th, right?
It was.
International Fight Week.
Yeah.
You know, like the 4th, 5th, 6th.
My
something
child
like
was
that.
conceived that night.
Ooh.
Was it a sad conception or a happy one?
I was watching I was riding high in the fight.
So
It was 4th of July.
responsible for your child being born is
I don't know.
Stipe.
No.
Get
They
knocked
didn't,
out.
they didn't put me in the mood. I don't know. We're partying, dude.
What fight would put you in the mood, Kyle? If I had to ask? We're gonna dig deep.
Shevchenko.
Yeah.
Django. All right, so the next card after that is the Curtis Blades versus Derek Lewis. The only other thing that's really of any interest to me on here is Anthony Smith versus Devin Clark, but it's not even that exciting.
No, okay. I want to call out your selective memory because, dude, you were riding so high in Fiziev like 4 months ago whenever he did that back bend for that kick and dodged it or whatever. Remember that guy?
Yeah. Oh, is that him?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, but
Remember, you were like going nuts over that
this
guy.
is the benefit of
Oh, he's
fighting
fighting
often.
Renato
We forgot
Moicano.
that shit happened because it
Right.
was, but it wasn't that long ago. Was
He's
it? It was
fighting
like-
Carnero, who's very good.
It's Moicano, right?
Yeah,
okay.
he's
I hate
good.
when they change their names.
You mean
really.
just call them by their real name?
Well, yeah, but you don't know what the real name is. I've never heard him. I've just always heard. But if you look at his shorts, it does say something different than Moicano. I'm pretty sure.
This is why we brought Brandon on so he could remind us. Remember
Right.
he liked
Those
that-
random dudes.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad he can't
I'm
because
just
my
a fight
memory's
finder.
shot.
Well, and that Raphael, man, he was really impressive just as striking in general, and he was just matrixing the fuck out of
Yeah.
punches and kicks. I've never seen someone be able to lean back that
Man.
far and still keep standing.
That's a good card. That's
Dude.
almost better than the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
What?
Why does Zumigulov look like he's wearing like a rubber mask? Look at this picture.
Yeah, that doesn't look real.
But
He looks like a burn victim.
Oh my god.
Nothing against burn victims. And more power to him if he is a burn victim. by the way. I mean, out of
I hope he wins though.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And Spike Carlisle looks like a Doyle from like Billy Madison. He's
Yeah, he
just-
does.
he's like a red
Yeah, I
hair.
saw that. Yeah. And then we have Hermanson Holland.
I'm rooting for Holland, by the way. I don't mind Jack Hermanson. Like if he wins, I'm not like mad, but
I'm rooting for Holland, but then it also messes up all of our theories about what to do with Izzy if he waits.
Yeah.
yeah, like if Holland wins, he needs to, get a. I don't know if he gets a title shot after that.
No,
No,
probably
you can't.
not.
You got to fight one of those other guys. Then
The retirement fight of the GOAT,
Man,
Beth
this-
Correa, her retirement fight.
yeah, but this card got a lot better at adding that Merab versus Barcelos on here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And John Mahal Hill, which sounds like I shouldn't say his name ever again. I'm not gonna say it.
It's racist to say.
Yeah,
that.
like it's literally like
Look at his face. Like, oh shit.
John Mahal, Sweet Dream Hill.
it's literally like a old '70s blaxploitation like
Photo.
character. It's like
What the fuck?
it's like a martial arts blaxploitation movie name,
Oh my god.
like a kung fu master that has like afro from the '70s.
Bruce Lee
Yeah,
boy.
this card definitely
Yeah, it's like that sort of guy.
It just adding that one fight made this a lot better card though.
I know it's like fucking high level now. Like it's a pretty decent fight card. I hate Nate Lanoir. I hate that guy.
I hate him.
No, I've seen him fight. He fought against fucking Darren Elkins, and he was like taunting with like one hand behind his back and doing shit like that.
And like, are you good enough for that?
yeah, and like he lost arguably the last round by like he just got outworked, and it's like this actually fight card's pretty good
That's,
too. Rebus is
Oh,
fighting some
yeah.
random
Who
person.
was she supposed
Is
to
Dude,
that
fight?
this is like the best.
This is a good card.
Dude, this is like the
Wait.
best pay per view of the year almost.
Who
Look at
dropped
that.
out? Who dropped out? Who was Rebus supposed to fight?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I don't
It
know.
was in. It was. They showed. I think it was.
Angela
on that-
Hill's on there.
Yeah, like
Yeah, check here.
Is that a?
What's
that's
that?
not
What
a
was the
fight
weight
night,
division
is
again?
It's strawweight women.
Is that a fight night?
that's a pay per view.
Yeah, it's a
I
pay
was
per
gonna
view.
say it's-
Oh.
That's a pretty good pay per view though. Actually, it's. I mean, like it should need another title fight. The Nunes Megan Anderson fight was canceled. That's why
Yeah.
it
Okay,
looks
that
like
would have
that
been
now.
pretty good then.
But that with that fight, that'd have been like one of the
Oh, the Watterson fight's off.
best. Why?
That's the one that.
That's
was,
who Rebus was supposed to fight.
Yeah, damn, that would have been
Insane
really
unknown
good.
fighter now. Yeah.
Ah.
She might get another decent fight though.
Yeah, I just wanted to see Rebus beat Watterson. That's all.
But you know,
Yeah.
Marvin Vittori versus
Souza, that's pretty good.
Souza. Mackenzie Dern, I just like watching her grapple. We'll
these
see
are
how that
both
goes.
grapplers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
And Gain versus JDS is a great fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Angela Hill versus Tisha Torres. Cub Swanson versus Daniel Pineda.
That's not
And
bad.
Pineda's that
Oh,
one guy
yeah.
who made his I think PFL debut, and then he came over and smashed that guy with elbows on the ground. It was in the summer. He fought in the summer. It looked really good.
Yeah.
But Jingling Lee, I like him. He's fun.
Jingle dingle.
Jingle dingle, and I'm the racist
Old jingle
sexist
dingle.
over here.
Right.
Come on.
Sexist,
It just
yes.
it's like funny because even if you say it right, it sounds like you're
Yeah.
fucking their name up.
Yeah, it sounds like you're trying to make fun of an Asian man. But his nickname is the Leech, and I like that name for a UFC fighter because it's not so badass that like 'cause it's just like gross sort of like the
Christmas
Leech.
card.
Man, this is a good card too.
Damn, this is a stacked card.
Damn, it is.
Is
At
this
least
a
the top
pay-per-view?
heavy.
Dude,
oh,
the
Bilal
top three.
Muhammad.
Tafon Truckwee. Look at that guy,
Nunchuck,
dude.
Nunchuck Kiwi.
Dave, that's the guy. That's the real short guy from the backyard fight promotion. Remember, Dave? Ever seen that guy?
The backyard fight.
Street Beefs.
Oh,
The
my
5 foot guy. That's him,
God.
dude.
Is it really?
No, I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about?
I know what Street Beefs
Yeah, I
is.
think he's a champion of Street Beefs
I know.
fighting.
There's a guy on my Facebook that fights on Street Beef.
I know someone
Really?
that fought in
Yeah.
Street Beefs.
That's actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it can be.
It kind of is.
'Cause, like, some of
Yeah.
the fights are terrible, and you're like, why are these people even? How they even get on here? But
Right.
some of them are pretty high level for Street Beef. So we should do a Street Beefs podcast. Cover all the fights on Street Beefs.
Oh, just pull them up on YouTube.
Yeah, let's like watch them for free. There's no copyright on it at all.
Right. But yeah, Leon Edwards versus Kamzat, Moraes versus Font, and Thompson versus Neal.
And-
I mean, those are 3 high-level fights.
That's a fight night.
And
right?
Yeah.
Manel Cape is from a different promotion. I think he's from like Russia, M1 maybe. And he's fighting Pantawal, who fought against
yeah.
Pantawal fought against.
I remember us talking about him.
Remember his grappling looked really good, but his striking
Yeah.
looked not that great.
Right.
But yeah, that's still a decent fight. And Bilal Muhammad's
I
alright.
can't
Yeah.
believe Wonder Boy isn't the co-main event of that fucking card.
Marias was a recent title challenger though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he just lost like twice, right?
Dude, I'm excited to see Jeff Neal fight. I like Jeff Neal a lot. He's a great fighter.
I
hope
can't believe
Rob
Wonder Boy's
wins.
not the co-main of that.
And that might be on every. Well, that's already shown as McGregor versus Poirier on. So
Muslim Salikov.
That's what we were talking about earlier.
That's-
Espinoza too.
that's probably gonna
You
get
like- you like
another fight
Espinoza
on it.
because of
I like Jordan.
This
Jordan,
has to get
Jordan
more
follows
fights.
me on
Get more
Instagram. We've
fights,
talked a
yeah.
couple times. He seems like a really nice guy.
he's kind of like hot and cold.
I mean,
That
Not-
might
it's
not
tough.
end up being the
Like,
main
that's-
Ah,
event.
yeah,
tough.
this is like top.
there's literally like 1% between everybody for the most part.
What?
Muslim Sokolov.
Suck a lot. Muslims suck a lot.
That's fucking rude.
Ponzi Beebo.
I just need someone to keep account of how many times I go like this.
Yeah. You're mostly doing that. You do that more than you do anything else. Not even a regular, like, you're mostly
But
like this.
this-
Like, oh god.
Just push this away from my face.
Like, what am I doing here?
I like how when she first came on, like, we put our best foot forward to some extent. And, like,
And then
lulled
I
her.
showed up the next
Yeah.
week.
Literally the next day, the next time, I was like, "No, this is your true colors." Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I still vibe with it, but I mean,
I don't think we're that
Sometimes.
far off. I don't think I'm that unfair.
oh, I could say a lot more. I just don't.
What do you mean? Like, about us or about the fight?
Just about anything in general.
Yeah.
I filter myself a little bit.
See, I just feel like, I mean, it's funny because I feel like anything you watch like this, you have a unique relationship to. Like, even watching women's MMA, I can understand, like, it's good in some respects, but, like, I just, sometimes it's just not good. But there's guys' fights, too. You could watch a heavyweight fight, too, and I have the same criticisms
Right.
of how shitty it is and how dumb and, like, slow and lethargic they look.
Yeah.
And, like, I just, like, I'm not going to baby somebody just because they're in the UFC. It's just like, well, either it's a good fight or not. There's guys...
Right.
Well, this is a simple fact with the women's fighting is it just hasn't been going on as long, and not
Right.
as many women have been getting into it as it for the men.
Yeah.
And it's starting to build some. I mean, we've been seeing some decent level women's fights recently.
Yeah, trust me, I get excited for the ones that are really good.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like us watching UFC 5 and like judging like the skill sets seriously, and like
Yeah. Oh,
that's
yeah.
the progression of like women's MMA is like in a sort of a intensive way too. It's going really faster than what men's
Faster,
MMA
yeah.
was
Yeah.
because they have
almost exponentially faster. Like
yeah, because there's a training set up and there's a whole culture and
Yeah.
community of fighters and gyms now.
And now you can train MMA.
And
You
they
don't
didn't
have
have
to
to-
come in as a boxer or kickboxer.
right, they didn't have to go through learning that like it doesn't work to be one thing. Like
Yeah, and like it gives me hope. Like I watched the Hanson McKenna fight, and I think that fight was pretty good. And it wasn't the most skilled, but even I appreciate guy fights that aren't the most skilled fights.
yeah. But I remember when
Okay, you saw what I do?
Jessica
Michelle Watterson versus Amanda Ribas.
So I
Oh.
guess they must
Oh
have
my
moved
god!
it.
Why is there just like two women's fights under the minute? I give all this credit to it, and I look over, and the top other two fights are women's fights.
Well, I'm sure there are going to be fights added to this.
There's something.
Yeah.
My tolerance is only so much for this. Okay.
Oh my god.
But it's like, really, would they really do that to us? Lead us into Connor with 2
Yeah,
women's fights?
they'll
in a row
fucking
like that?
they'll put a Street Beefs fight card under Connor.
Yeah.
They do not care.
Yeah. Whatever, you're gonna watch it anyway.
It's actually going to be you versus Brandon
Yeah.
underneath.
Yeah, that's the co-main event because
In a debate.
yeah,
In a debate.
it doesn't even matter. It'd be like Fox 1 fight card with 1 fight, and it's like, all right, that's a fight.
That was the fight.
But like, good. Is that the only fights right now? Is just
Yeah. That's how they could get Dustin his money. Be like,
Yeah,
look,
just like-
let's just do 1 fight. You don't pay any of these other schlubs.
yeah.
Give me this fucking money, dude.
Just put a whole bunch
Oh
of
my
no-namers
Give-
underneath.
Give Michelle Watterson diaper money to fight in the co-main
Yeah.
event.
Oh, shit. Well, that's really everything that's lined up so far.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be padded out here in the next month or so. All these fight cards
Yeah.
are gonna be sussed out because I mean, there's just no
Yeah,
way
because that January 16th card needs more on it for sure.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, they could put. What fight did we say that they could put like a co-main event or whatever? I mentioned something earlier that made sense for that card, but I forget the fight. But a lot of these fights come off now. It's like I feel like a lot of these fights that happened recently in the last few weeks could be turned around and made matchups very, even they put like Chaos Williams on that fight card.
Yeah.
That immediately draws my attention more so
Yeah,
than
for
like
sure.
Brad Tavares versus
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
Shoeface or whatever that guy is.
Shoeface.
That's his nickname. It's terrible. That's a nickname you get when you lose 3 in a row when you first start out. And you never change it. Yeah.
People just keep kicking him in the face.
There's 3 women's bouts on that one, so.
Yep.
Oh,
Come on.
man.
They
Let's
love to
take
do
it
it to
over.
us.
So Brandon won't watch this one.
Well, they have Wellington Turman, who's an old English aristocrat, fighting.
Mr. Wellington.
Yeah, like that name is just like
And
goofy.
What's did they call him? Well, like,
Well.
like how like Bill is short for like William.
Yeah.
Wellington.
You know, it's a low-level women's MMA fight when she has the word "can" in her last name, and that's
No, Molly McGann is awesome.
She's
Go
not bad.
fuck yourself.
she's not too bad.
You're the worst.
Little meatball. Literally, that's her nickname.
Nika Montana, I hated
I
because the way
hate her.
the way she
handled herself with the whole
like title.
tough thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
don't like her.
I feel
either.
like she said recently on like social media that she's like on food stamps, and I don't I'm not making fun of that because it's whatever, but it's very weird to say that out loud like as a fighter. It makes the UFC look bad, like former champion.
Well, the UFC
It does
should
look
look
bad.
bad.
Yeah, like it's like on food stamps. Like
I
oh
mean,
my god,
If you've had more than 1 fight in the UFC, you probably shouldn't be fucking on food stamps.
Either that or you just really do not know how to manage your money.
Yeah.
But it's probably.
she doesn't
the
fight
source.
often too. She fights very rarely. It seems
Well,
like.
yeah. 'cause
And she's 4-3.
Yeah.
What we talking about?
Yeah,
She's not a superstar.
they should up her food stamps. She should get an extra $300 a month. on her
Like, we
EBT
don't know
card.
how much longer she's going to be fighting.
Oh my
I wonder
god.
how that even works.
I heard Aldi's pays really well though, like $13 an hour. You sit down all day.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
this does
it's
pay
shit.
well, actually.
Yeah, it's a good job.
Yeah.
No, you don't sit down all day. When you don't have customers, you gotta go stock shelves.
At Aldi's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But
the
it's the-
cashiers sit
If-
while they cash you out.
But when you're not cashiering, you
Yeah.
gotta go stock
But you
shelves.
cashier a lot.
Yeah, and it's the best, and it's the best
But
place to have to
it's
stock. So literally, like, just cut open this box and throw it over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't want to work
This
at Aldi.
brand
There's
from
a
an
lot of
alternate
different
dimension that we
situations.
got.
You gotta be able to scan like X amount of groceries a minute, like, and they're like on you on that.
Oh, I
like,
could do it.
Oh,
Walmart
it's-
ain't about
I'd
that.
slay it.
We need an Aldi's podcast.
Yeah, but compared to like when you go to Kroger's and they're offering you $9 an hour, then $15 over at Aldi is like
Yeah.
what?
No.
And I can
Yeah.
sit down.
yeah,
I don't know. Walmart pays well.
I don't, but I understand like making bagger like people who scan stuff. Like, why would you have to stand up anyways?
Yeah.
like, why?
Yeah.
Like,
like especially
Because
I have
you're
to
at
think
work,
about.
you ain't supposed to be sitting.
But
Why?
I have to think about what change I'm giving him,
And-
and I'm better to do that sitting down
Yeah.
than standing here.
And also-
No, it
and-
hinders your ability to
And
bag
also,
groceries.
when you don't
Not
bag
me.
groceries at Aldi's, you just throw them in the shopping cart and they
No,
bag them
right,
themselves.
at Aldi it might be a different story, but like a Walmart
the
or
person
something,
bags
you
their
can't
own
sit.
shit because that's why they got.
You have to
their
bring your
boxes
own
and
bags or
yeah.
boxes.
You just
Yeah.
beep beep.
You know how many
beep, beep.
times I've gone into Aldi and forgot that and had to either one buy a bag or two just
Aldi's don't give a fuck.
I'd rather bag it myself anyway. They're always too damn slow. Like,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
I use
stop.
self checkout everywhere I go.
Dude, I feel like you're too loyal to Walmart in this situation because Aldi's you got it made there. Like you fucking seriously
Right.
though.
I like Walmart.
I'm not saying you should hate Walmart, but you should like
You should be able to,
maybe
to
off
acknowledge
camera.
that all
Off
these.
camera, we'll talk
even-
more.
I mean,
more
if
honestly.
you-
Oh yeah, the daughter.
If you're gonna tell me I have to scan like a crazy amount of groceries in a minute, go fuck yourself.
You just literally
Don't you
swipe
have to
that shit.
dance? Or that's the distribution center. They make you dance.
The distribution
You're
center, they're not
supposed to-
dance. You're supposed to. They
They're
used to do
supposed
like
to
a
do
morning
Walmart cheer.
workout.
And
Yeah.
yeah, if you tell them to do the cheer, I think you guys have to do the cheer, right?
I'm
I
doing
guess you're
that.
not Walmart. I guess.
We
Whatever.
literally do not do the cheer on night turn.
Yeah,
they don't
we
do
know.
the cheer on
Well,
day
not
turn.
night turn.
Yeah, that turn
We
is
We
sad
did it
there.
at the
Full of
academy
vampires.
every single day though.
What is it?
They're not getting night turn people to do that shit.
So when you get a management position in Walmart, they send you to the academy, and it's up in Hermitage.
That's why you can't say anything bad about all these, right? The academy
The
training.
academy.
Yeah,
The academy
the
will come
secret
for
society.
And they do the
Fucking bounty
Walmart
hunters.
cheer every morning. And it's so annoying.
The
Pointless.
distribution center, they used to have you do like some kind of
Yeah,
morning
I worked there
first
for a year.
workout, and yeah.
It's dude.
Yeah.
That
I would
job's
never
terrible.
work at the distribution
It's
center.
it's so depressing there.
You couldn't pay me enough.
And like you got paid okay, but like you're destroying your body for $21 an
Exactly.
hour, and like my knee was giving out from like order filling, just like stepping off my CR all day.
Yeah.
You step off in the concrete and you do that. How many times a fucking shift? 11
and
hours.
your break's 15 minutes, and it starts when you leave the floor, but Subway's 10 minutes away. So.
Yeah.
You don't drive.
Yeah, do they have any
No, it's
food
in the.
for you there?
There's a Subway inside the distribution center, isn't there?
No,
Well, not when he was there.
no.
There
yeah.
is. There is now. I think.
Is there?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think
works-
I could be wrong.
Imagine working the subway at the
Or the break
distribution
room.
center.
or the break. Maybe
That's a suicide job.
It's the
I don't
saddest subway in
Maybe there
history.
isn't. Maybe
it might be
I don't
like
know. Maybe
the
they
most
were
lax
just like
Subway ever.
saying
like,
Subway because we have a Subway in our Walmart. I don't know.
probably.
When
I've
I was
never worked at the distribution center.
when I went to high school in St. Louis, there was a Taco Bell and a Pizza Hut in the cafeteria.
Nice.
That's pretty sweet.
Fairmont State had nothing, and the calf closed at 7.
Remember when
So-
Richie Rich had a McDonald's in his house?
That was baller.
Baller.
But we got
Have
so
you
off
ever seen
topic.
Richie Rich?
I have, yeah.
No, her. She probably has
She
no
has- she
idea
never
what the
heard of
fuck
him.
that is, dude.
She thinks he works at the DC.
Is that the guy that lives down here?
Yes, that's him.
No.
Oh, okay.
It was first a cartoon and then a movie.
Oh. Do you
Yeah.
guys remember the fake Burger King in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Yes!
That's the best story.
Holy
That's the
shit,
best
that's
story.
the wildest shit ever. Like, I've been there,
You ever
too.
seen-
and
have you
it's
heard
like-
that?
No.
Oh my
look
god.
it up.
They operated a
We'll-
fake
we'll tell you
Burger King in
after.
Literally
Pittsburgh.
just
dude.
type in fake Burger King Pittsburgh and you
And,
will
like,
This
find
is
they-
important.
It's wild.
It was
dude.
it was on a cracked article
Yeah.
about it.
I was in there before in Munber getting something and being like, what the
What the
fuck?
fuck?
It was like
I know.
styrofoam cups. It was like not even
When
licensed.
I read that
Burger
story,
King
I was like,
shit.
holy shit. I've been
Pittsburgh
there.
Southside, yep.
That's the most ghetto Burger King, by the way.
Crack.com.
Well, it wasn't really a Burger King.
It
Oh,
was
it
at one
was. It
time,
was.
but
It went off on its own and like was a mutiny.
got
It was like
their-
a mutiny
They
or
got
something like
like
that.
their
They
franchise
pulled it.
shit revoked, and they
This is
just
an
kept
article-
operating.
We should probably wrap up the podcast and then look at this shit. Though I feel like this is
It's
important
kind of like
information.
some people might want to know
Somebody is
about
gonna be
this
like, "What?
crazy
Fake
ass
Burger King?"
story.
So is this the picture of it here?
That's
Yeah,
the
that's-
Burger
Yeah,
King.
that's it.
You've been there, dude. It's
That
right
is
on
the
the
South
most
side.
Well, how?
South
Pittsburgh
side.
thing ever.
Yeah, how would you not know that that's a fake Burger King? It doesn't even use their colors.
I think they
No,
made,
it was a real Burger
It was a
King.
real
though.
Burger
I'd have been like,
King.
It was sort of like a
Bro, they got Burger King signs and shit in their window though, and still like they were still using like the leftover Burger
Yeah.
King cups and
it
shit.
was like a
forever.
hermit crab like moving into a shell, like another shell. It's like oh yeah, like a fucking pop can hermit crab or whatever. That's what I think of. But
Oh.
like they'd go get like cups and like they'd get like shit and like buy stuff themselves and use like supplies on their own. Like yeah, it's
it goes. It goes
You could
into the
you could get
story
a
about
like
it.
7-pattied Whopper if you wanted.
yeah, it's one of my favorite stories about Pittsburgh.
It's so
I think it's
great.
what's so bizarre is it operated for so long and nobody was like,
But Burger
hey,
King-
this is weird.
But the Burger King like bought it back.
Like,
They bought it.
Really?
Yeah.
there was a McDonald's. There was a McDonald's a couple miles away that was selling Happy Meal toys stuffed full of
Yeah, I
heroin,
remember
and
that
it got
too.
better reviews.
But around the start of 2014, things went even further downhill to the point where people started asking, "Is this even a real Burger King at all?"
I love fucking
See, look,
Pittsburgh.
The situation food began to be served in plain brown paper bags without the famous BK logo. Fries came in Dixie cups. Drinks were in plain styrofoam cups. It's like the most ghetto thing.
It says, but if you specifically chose to go to Burger King, it's because you want that special experience of having your taste buds beaten with a used sock full of nickels.
What?
And grease.
I like that.
I like Burger King. They got that rodeo burgers.
Dude, the only thing I hate about them is like after I eat Burger King, I feel like I smell like Burger King for like 3 days.
And my stomach is all fucked up
And
after Burger
they
King.
nix the chicken parmesan sandwich, so fuck them.
I feel like any fast food like that is now for me. Like I feel like I have dengue fever. Like I literally will need to take a day off.
I eat it fairly often just because I always feel like I don't have time to cook, unfortunately. But I always feel like trash afterwards.
It's wild, dude. I was at that Burger King before and was like, what the fuck
too.
is going? Like that was weird. And like, never really thought shit about it until I seen this article like years later, and I was like, bro, I was there.
I was at the Rex for a show, and we were walking around Southside, and we were like, let's go to Burger King, and I'm like,
you thought you were going to Burger King.
You walk in, you're like, something doesn't seem right.
What I understand is like, how did payroll operate? And, like, how did anything operate behind the scenes of like paying
what
people?
happened at tax time?
They just pay people under the table.
And like, why would you continue to show up to shifts and like you're just in a mutiny Burger King that like overthrew?
I would work there and be like, if you don't excuse me not being here late, I'm just gonna tell corporate.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, yeah.
Fries came in Dixie cups, drinks plain styrofoam cups. The burgers were wrapped in tin foil.
This is my favorite. Rumor spread that employees have been cited loading up on burger buns in a giant eagle.
Shit, we're out of buns. Corporate didn't send any, of course, so go.
Because they think we're closed down.
It says some expert soda connoisseurs claimed that the Coke machine appeared to be dispensing Pepsi.
Figure it out.
Oh my god. How could a Burger King run out of Burger King products? As it turned out, corporate had revoked the location's franchise months ago, apparently due to repeated food quality complaints. The company had hoped to reopen the location with a new owner, but the Southsiders simply struck out on their own, continuing to operate as a rogue Burger King outside the law.
Rogue Burger King.
Yes, the Southside BK crew carried on with their mission, even as supplies and instructions from headquarters stopped coming.
It's kind of noble.
At some point, the name printed on receipts was quietly changed to Southside Burgers, but the Burger King signs, uniforms, and posters remained, meaning customers had no idea they were eating at a pirate restaurant. But rumors grew as employees started claiming they were out of most menu items, while sauce packets were replaced for generic ketchup squirted into plastic ice cream cups. There were unconfirmed reports of marauding staff members stealing promotional materials from other Burger King locations.
See, that's what I mean. Like, they still were using
Pittsburgh for life.
As a general rule, if your boss ever announces he's now the burger warlord and upgrades you from fry cook to raider, it's probably a good time to look for new job opportunities. Holy shit.
God, my stomach.
As supplies ran low, things began to get dark. One customer described arriving to find the front door barricaded, following the hastily scrawled, "Please use side entrance side." He made his way inside, discovering the blacked out LCD screens and a grease-stained menu taped to the counter. An order of chicken nuggets and fries produce steak-cut Costco fries and elementary school nuggets. When he asked for a packet of sauce, the manager emerged from the back bearing a highball glass filled with Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. At this point, "Hello, darkness, my old friend," suddenly emerged from the store radio, because sometimes life's just perfect like that. Oh, my God.
That's the most Pittsburgh thing I've ever heard.
I love it.
That is hilarious.
I love Pittsburgh.
See, like, yeah, you could do as many patties as you wanted, apparently.
Yeah, but
here's the menu if you go down. Look.
Oh my God.
What the hell?
Can be single, double, triple, or more.
There's no way everybody got paid adequately, like for the right amount of hours and shit.
Especially if you got to go rob other Burger Kings.
Yeah, like, so who was like? Because I feel like who did payroll? Like that boggles my mind. Who was like, all right, you worked this many hours. We just have this cash.
Yeah.
And, like,
I think they were probably literally just like whatever they made in the register, just paying out like no taxes, nothing. Like,
it's like, or like, what if you had a credit card? Where does the charge go?
like Burger King corporate, they probably were like, no, you can't use a credit card unless like whatever, and they
just
probably
had their own,
never
like,
accepted it.
I don't know.
This says an agitated, ununiformed security guard yelling, "Please get off our property." Some Redditors later claimed the security guard was also moonlighting as a well-known local panhandler.
I like how it's just like the whole scene's
Pittsburgh,
fucked
baby.
up. Yeah, just
Oh
like
my
The
god,
head scene, bro.
Pittsburgh.
that is hilarious.
it's sad to go to Pittsburgh and like you realize if you're in Pittsburgh a lot, you have to just ignore people begging for money.
Oh yeah.
You literally can't even just look. You don't even look at them.
You can't even do it if you come off the bridge in Wheeling to go to like.
Yeah, just like-
they stand right there. Like,
Now though, you have your phone. I realized you're.
I don't care about people begging for money. I just hate the random like people that are just gonna scream at you or something for no reason. Like as you're like some old Chinese lady was just fucking cursing me out for no reason. You know, what I mean, she's just yelling at everybody that walks by her like "fuck yeah," like
Yeah, that's
stare at him.
like what is this?
I literally
Well.
never have cash, so like it's like I feel like I'm lying, but like, I don't have cash.
I don't
on
either,
people.
and I hate when I go in somewhere's like kids are tagging. I'm like,
Oh,
I
he's
don't
giving
have
money.
any cash.
You're not getting anything from me. I don't cash. I'm not getting $20 out of cash back from fucking the store just to give you a dollar first and then.
Like, go get a job.
Yeah. Fucking freeloading. This is Biden's America.
Oh my god.
I give him money, dude. I go out of my way to give him fucking people money.
Somebody has to. I'm glad you can. All right, we haven't talked about MMA in a good 45 minutes.
Yeah,
So let's
okay,
go
let's
ahead
do
and wrap this up.
Yeah.
This
You
was
wanna go
fun.
Burger King?
I'm really
Yeah.
glad.
We're sponsored by Burger King.
I'm
Yeah, I'm
really
gonna go
glad
get
we
Burger
found out
King,
about
too.
this fake Burger King. But MMA
Oh,
fools,
man.
we're out.
Yeah.
Peace. Oh my god.